Good evening and welcome for the second last time here in the ASR Development Series for round 11 of the ASR Development Series from Pukekohe Park Raceway. I'm Lewis Wedding, and of course joining me once again in the commentary box is NZ Snipes. Snipes, how's it going?
Yeah, not bad, Lewis. Home race for me this evening, Pukekohe Park. I went to the track just only a month or two ago. Yeah, super exciting to see some of the pace that is coming out. Some of these drivers, there is definitely plenty of pace coming out of them, particularly in the top five. Some, I'd say, almost close to lap records possibly coming out.
Yeah, so I actually can't remember the outright lap record. It might be in one of my graphics coming up. In fact, I'll have a look at the old circuit information. So there we go. Qualifying lap record was set last year. We were having a little bit of talk about that just before the start of the broadcast, and that going by practice is probably going to be about 3, 4, maybe even 5 or 6 guys get underneath that time. With the fastest time that we've seen that's legitimate in practice has just been set at a 102.295. Now that would have put you in the main series last year. That would have put you within the first 2 rows of the grid. So that's a pretty handy lap time. That was set by Noah Taro, and he's got 4 tenths over Bailey Hall and 6 tenths over Zach Brown, and then Nathan Higginson and Peter Throw in the practice session. So really, after sort of Noah Tara, who's got some very wicked pace in that thing, it is fairly close after, which this kind of circuit, as you can see, 11 corners, it is fairly simple. It is a fairly short lap time, but it is quite a tricky circuit tonight, with, in particular, this version of the circuit, very, very bumpy, and the last corner quite bumpy, and even turns 9 and 10 can be difficult. And then, of course, you've got to navigate your way through turns 2 and 3, which is going to be a difficult task for these guys tonight.
Yeah, no doubt. Look, you look at a track map of Pukekohe, and it does look quite simple. It's only a few turns. There's nothing that looks overly complex for a race car driver. But yes, the bumps, the speed of the circuit can really catch you out. Turn 1 is really on the limit. There are some bumps right on the entry to it, and they can really throw your car off kilter. You know, going a little bit wide can really screw you run into 2, 3, and 4. It's really easy to go onto the grass there, get a track cut, something like that. And, you know, even if you've just gone wide, it'll really affect your run down the back straight to the best passing zone, obviously down at turn 5 there. So it's, you know, there's definitely complexity to this track. It is I'd say a reasonably difficult place to pass if you can't set up a run down to the last down to turn 5 down the back straight, because you don't get a huge run down to the hairpin if you're quick through the chicane at 5 and 6. Then you can make a move down there work, but it's pretty hard, and it's certainly tough into 1 to go too wide. It's you know, if drivers are doing that, they've got some cojones and some trust in each other to make that work, because it's really hard. So there's limited opportunities to get a simple move done.
Yeah, turn 5, as people can see, is the easiest place to make a pass, but again, I mean, we've seen drivers hold on around the outside and have the inside for 6 there, and we've seen people pass around the outside there. So it is sort of 5 and 6, probably the biggest and easiest place to overtake around the circuit. And as you're saying, with the hairpin down there at turn 8, that little kink there at what is dubbed turn 7, it is fairly flat out until the tyres do get worn out. That gives the car ahead a bit of an advantage, because if they know the car behind has got that good run, they can just stay in the middle of the track or to the right hand side, and you're not going to pass at the outside of turn 8 without some kind of divine miracle or the car on the inside spinning. So it really just leaves 5 and 6 to pass, unless, you know, the driver makes a pretty bad mistake out of one of these corners. So the key to this circuit, at least in race trim, is definitely going to be, well, it starts at turn 1 for me, Snipes. If you get turn 1 right and you don't carry too much speed, it then sets up 2 and 3. And the follow on, if you do run wide on the exit of turn 1, you don't quite get that entry point you need for turn 2, where you could take too much curb and get a track cut trying to keep speed up, or you wash too much speed off and then you take the wrong line through 3, and then you're not carrying the speed up to 4. And then if you're not getting wide enough and carrying enough speed through turn 3, it also doesn't open the corner up, so you can get on the power early for turn 4, and then of course that crucial back straight. So the most crucial point of the circuit, at least for overtaking and for a little bit of lap time, probably about 2 to 3 tenths, you can easily drop just from not quite getting turn 3 and 4 right, all the way down to turn 5. But I think tonight, Snipes, I've done a little bit of driving of this circuit these last few days just to get my mind back into some racing. And I think tonight the tyres are going to be a bit of a talking point with these drivers. I don't know how much driving you've done, but with 2 times tyre wear and the soft tyre, 15 laps with the way some of these guys drive, I don't know if they can make the soft tyre last. It's going to be very difficult. These last few laps are going to be very interesting because that rear left on these guys' tyres is going to be very worn out.
Yeah, we're going to see what drivers have done their research. We're going to see what drivers are prepared to drive on a dead tyre, because it will be looking less than desirable come the end of the race, no doubt about it. And there is a lot of pressure placed on the left rears through here. Obviously, turn 1 is a very fast right-hander. Turn 11, the last corner of the circuit, a very fast right-hander. And then you're trying to really maximise turn 3 and 4 as well to get on the power well, as well as turn 7. That's a pressure point for the lefts as well. There's a lot of points in this circuit where the lefts are actually under quite a lot of duress, particularly the rear left. No doubt about it. It's a danger spot.
And to get speed out of the car as well, you do have to lean on that rear left. You've got to carry just that little bit of throttle. I found turn 8 in particular, hairpin. You've got to carry just that little bit of throttle to help the car turn. And then, of course, you've got to get on the power and get a nice clean run coming out of 8 to sort of end the lap really well. So when those tyres start to go, I expect action point will be turn 8. We probably see a car having a loop. At least one car tonight probably having a loop there. And we may see, I think, turn 11 as well on these worn tyres. And then turn 1 as well with the bump. That's going to be really interesting to see how these drivers handle it, because they're all saying that the hard tyre's not worth it pace-wise. But who knows? We might see people go out there and go, well, I've got nothing to lose here. If I'm going to be a second down or half a second down anyway, if I whack hards on and go even half a second slower, but my tyres last, well, that could end up being a masterstroke, and you pick up 5 positions just of people throwing it off the road having punctures. So that is going to be something to look out for.
Absolutely. Another thing to consider is if someone decides their tyres may not make the distance, may not get to the end, they decide to box. Pukekohe has a notoriously long pit lane for a short circuit. Its lap time is almost shorter than the track time, the pit time. So it's very easy to go a lap down if you pit.
Well, I'd imagine you will, even if you're a leader. If you're not going to be a lap down, you're going to be a couple seconds away from being a lap down. So it's going to be interesting to see what drivers do with regards to the tyre, because I don't see pitting being a viable option. Because if for 15 laps, if you're a second a lap slow, or for 10 laps, if you're a second a lap slower, but those last 5, you get that time back, then it's not too bad. Well, if you have the soft tyre on, you are risking having a spin. So it is going to be interesting, because that pit stop, it will knock you well out of contention. But with that, might as well go over to the drivers' standings. Of course, a big round last time out with plenty of action and controversy and drama out there. So 10 of 12 rounds completed, and Higginson did drop points to Locke and Locke, but both of them did end up picking up penalties. So it wasn't clean for either of them, and Cheese didn't have a great night either, but he's still he's still got himself a decent shot of the championship, probably got himself a little bit closer to the likes of Higginson and Locke. So if he can have a good night tonight, and perhaps these guys have some more dramas, he might find himself in a really good position. So he's there on, 1,919 points, with our leader on 2,108, and Darren Kemp and Justin Cecil also just within grasp. Well, they're all mathematically possible or able to win the championship, but probably unlikely for those guys. Kemp obviously more of a chance than Cecil, who's pretty much done if he doesn't finish, or if he doesn't finish in front of. Well, he's essentially got to win every race from here if he wants to win the title, and probably pray, I should say, for some points penalties to those in front. Steve, which you don't want to have. Steve Warwick, he's not here tonight. He's in 6th. We have Zach Brown, Taipan, Noah Tara, who if he continues on with his pace tonight, should see him probably jump up a position maybe even 2 or 3 there. And then we have Luke Yeager rounding out the top 10. Bailey Hall, another one, looking to sneak his way back into the top 10 with Matt Cecil in 12th. Rody leading the first of the Super 3 cars, and not too far ahead of Darren Lachlan, who's overall in 15th. They've got Ben Hall, who's not racing in the series. Between them, Ayrton Filippi, 1,034 points. I don't think he's here tonight. And then we have Laszlo Teglas, who's been in and out. Bratt, who's not here this evening. He's got some pedal issues, unfortunately. Then we have Peter Thrower, who is in the server. He's currently 5th in the practice session. His home race, he'll be hoping to pick up some points. Melody Smith rounding out the top 20. And then for the team standings, somehow Luke McHugh Racing was able to put points on HME powered by Kiwi Simsport in the last round. That's just how disastrous it was for Nathan Higginson, as well as Taipan. He also had a bit of a shocking run there. But again, 2 cars against 1. They should get over the line, provided they finish all their races, or most of them. And we have APK Simsport. I know Matt Cecil's looking to pick up points in the team standings. Again, if they have a solid night, a solid final 4 races, they might be able to sneak ahead of Luke McHugh Racing, although provided the HME cars finish, they should finish at least 2nd. LLM Juniors Academy in 4th, Kiwi Sim Sports in 5th, then the underdeveloped squad in 6th. Tevez Shadow Racing ahead of PBF Scotch Smugglers, which have both drivers here tonight. So, and I don't think either of the Tevez Shadow Racing cars are in the server, so would expect those guys, if they do just finish, they should get ahead in the Super 3 teams there. WT Blackshaws with Steve Warwick in 9th, and then PBF Race Engineering. We haven't had drivers. Actually, no, I think Zach Brown is in that team now, but yeah, they're in 10th on 1,202 points. Alright, so nice with that underway. Looks like the qualifying session is about to begin. Has ticked over. The drivers have had their talking to. And yeah, that is the sound of engines. So Snipes, as we do some service syncing here, what are the keys to this circuit? And what's going to be the key to this qualifying session? Because 10 minutes and I think it's 22 drivers in the server. What is going to be the key to a lap around this circuit that'll get you up the front?
Well, firstly and foremost, space on track. You can't drive fast if there's a bunch of cars all around you. So finding a position on track is going to be hard. There's 23 cars, in fact, Lewis, so a good turnout tonight for the session. And yeah, it's going to be tough to find space on track with 23 cars and just so little track to navigate with that. But on top of that, you got to get turn 1 right. You're totally on the money there. Turn 1s, 2, 3, 4 set you up for a good lap. If you need to hit the apex of 1, it pulls you around a little bit. You need to stay reasonably to the right to straight line 2 and 3 as much as you can to get a wide line and on the power early out to 4 for the back straight. You get that right, you'll feel confident of being able to finish the rest of the lap. Then it's just braking well.
Yep,
getting the car out well.
Yep, so here we are. Cars now out on the circuit. The server has done its little sync, and Higginson will be the first man out onto the circuit. Doesn't mean he's going to be by himself at the start of his lap, though, of course. He's got all the space in the world right now, but I'd expect there to be drivers going out on the circuit throughout the next couple minutes that could hinder him here. So
certainly just about finding space, and if you're first out, you'll be the first into the traffic if there is some. So
you can already see in the background there a number of cars in a row. So there's I think that's McGillivray, Cheese, Locke, Matt Cecil, Taipan, and Darren Kemp all fairly close together. But we'll ride on board Nathan Higginson here and we'll demonstrate a lap of the Pukekohe Park Raceway and see what he is able to muster up. So here we go, turn 1, watch the bump. There it is, he hasn't gotten the nose in there, so there's, well, they can throw the first sector in the bin, and probably the second sector as well. In fact, yeah, that's going to completely compromise his run. even down here, he'll be losing a tenth, maybe 2 tenths, just because he wasn't able to optimize that that exit. A little bit early on the brakes there, and a lot of curb here at the chicane at 5 and 6. And getting off the throttle there at turn 7, so he's not able to carry full throttle. Gently on the power out of the hairpin, and then we got some nasty bump here at turn 10 that you got to look out for. You got to hit the corner the right way. He's gone over it okay, and then the final corner, infamous, notorious corner, and that's going to be a 104.4 for Higginson. Not a very good lap, but a lap nonetheless.
On the board with your first lap, and he'll call it a banker. You know, plenty of time still to get one right. It's not a long circuit, so you don't have a long time before you start a new one when you take a lap. I'm just having some technical difficulties currently connecting at this point, Lewis. So
that's alright, I'll have to carry for a little bit. On this lap already, Higginson half a second up in the first sector, and if he doesn't bowl 5 and 6 here, he should be able to find another tenth or two here as well. And here we are about to approach the sector marker. Up 8 tenths on his own time. Noah Tara going, can't remember if that's under or right next to the previous qualifying record. And Higginson will move up considerably here. Oh, he's carried a lot of speed. Bit of a slide on, which we will see tonight at that final corner. And it's a 103.4. So back up to P4 for Higginson, but behind his championship rival Locke, who finds himself behind Cheese, Rhodey, and there's another car there, McGillivray as well. But Locke continuing on here, and doesn't improve. Got Bailey Hall on a lap ball, and he was up on Noah Tara as well. 40.5 in the middle sector, nothing to scoff at there. But did have a little bit of traffic from, I think that was Damo behind him. Not sure if that cost him time, but we will find out. Bailey Hall, it did cost him a little bit of time, about half a tenth on his own time, and that's enough to keep him in second. Enough to give Noah Tara a little bit of a scare, but Noah Tara still in position 1 for now. We just bring up ye old live races here. See who is doing what out there.
I've heard a report from Cheese next to me. There's been an incident at turn 1. That's all I've got at this point in time. But to answer your question from earlier, that did break the qualifying lap record, that 961, so that we have a new qualifying lap record around the circuit for the series.
Oh, there we go. Alright, where is this incident? We'll go back on the old replay. So it looks like that is Felipe driving. Well, he was off the line trying to get out of the way. He was driving slowly, and then Lockman's just doing it in the back of him there. So not really sure what went on, but it wasn't Felipe's fault. He was well off the line. So let's see into that. We've got yellows as well down there at turn 3 and 4. And we'll jump with Noah Tara here. Jump on board and see what he can do. Although he's got, I think, as Brian Walsh has just exited the pits in front of him. You see that it might be Lochnan. Actually, it is Lochnan. He's just going to elect to cut the chicane, which probably more offsetting or off-putting, I should say, than just getting out of the way. But he's up at the first sector on his own time by half a tenth. But I know his PB first sector is actually quite mighty. I think it was a couple tenths even faster than that. Here we go, 5 and 6. He gets down to first gear, a little bit of wobble over the curb. And we did hear a lift from Higginson. No, not quite a lift. He's down at the second split mark, so it looks like, and he has backed off. So he's going to go again at a later point on the next lap, as is Bailey Hall. In fact, Zach Brown.
Zach Brown. Whoa, huge lap out to P1 with a 2.763. That's cleared by two and a bit tenths, or 2 tenths.
And that's his fastest overall time he's done in all the practice sessions. So good time to pull that out. And yeah, there we go. That's comprehensively smashed the record. Previously, the 2.9, which was held only by, well, for a couple minutes there, by Noah Tara. He broke last year's record from Braxton Stancliffe. We've got Bailey Hall as well. He's done a purple middle sector. What can he do here? And he's, not far away, but can't quite do it to another 2.7. So that's 3 drivers underneath the previous year's lap record.
Certainly some pace coming out of this development series field. Year on year, they continue to improve, which is excellent to see. The racing getting faster, even in this series. Excellent.
And Bailey Hall is up again 2/10 on his own time in the first sector here. Very deep under brakes for turn 5. And he is able to get the nose in at turn 5. Gets through 6. He's got, that's Bratt that has managed to get in, which is good to see. And he's up again 2.5 tenths on his own time, but he's bowled it wide at the hairpin. He's bowled it wide. And I reckon that'll do it. Yeah, he's coming into the pit, so he'll have maybe one more opportunity with 2 minutes left. Noah Tara is about to exit the pit lane. But,
well, out of that, Cheese has improved his lap time there to sit 4th now. He's set a personal best as well with a 2.986. Looking at live races here, and some drivers out there still setting some pretty quick laps. So I fancy some more times might come down before the end of the session. Not long to go, though.
Yeah, not long to go. So some of these drivers might get 2 laps in, but those that are just leaving the pits, they'll only have the one opportunity left. As Cheese just a little bit wide there. Exit of the final corner. He's got Locke in front of him. Very committed. Probably turned in a little bit too early, and he's going to have to bail out of that one. Locke on a lap here. Can he get himself up another position or 2 here? Already ahead of his championship rival. He's got Rhodey in front of him, who might even give him a slight toe there. He does improve on his own time, but not enough to move up a position. Rhodey on a lap here is entitled to continue on. And Locke probably not going to improve here. Yeah, he's well down in the first sector. And we've got Noah Tara now. We'll cut to him in 3rd place. Was the 4-man coming in from the practice session. What can he do here, Snipes? He's up at the first sector.
It's very tight. He's certainly got a lot of pace. He can extract a lot more from the car than what he's got. He can find something like 7 tenths. He set in the practice session faster than what he's put on display here. Nevertheless, he will be one to watch in the race, even if he doesn't put it together. Let's see what he is through the 2nd sector.
He's getting closer. He was a little bit further away in the first sector. He carried a lot of speed into turn 5. The final sector will be the deciding one. Time's expired. This will be his only opportunity. He's a little bit wide at the final corner, but he's going to carry a little bit of throttle. Will it be enough, or will Zach Brown hold on? And Zach Brown will hold on. Noah Tara does improve, but not enough. And Bailey Hall, he's another one on a lap at the moment. His first sector wasn't very good. His middle sector wasn't very good. And that's that. So Zach Brown at the moment on pole position. Cheese is in the pitch. Locke is finished. And now we have Nathan Higginson. What can he do? Can he get ahead of his championship rival, Locke here? And he has, by the slimmest of margins. 1,000th of a second separating Higginson and Locke. All that is, Snipes, is just maybe half a K or a K of, extra speed through one corner is what that is.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it's finding the throttle just so fractionally quicker it doesn't even matter, but it does matter, and you see it here.
And well, for him at the moment, everything matters. He's got to pretty much have a perfect run home to really put Locke under pressure for the title after the disastrous round at Gold Coast. And he's got himself ahead of him here, but he's got some fast cars in front that he's going to have to contend with. But as we've said earlier on in the broadcast, qualifying's only one part of it. The race is going to be interesting with the way the tyre wear is going to be around this circuit. So that will be the deciding factor tonight.
Tyres perform will definitely be a talking point of the field, I imagine, after tonight's action. A quick shout out here, Lewis, to Ryan Cox. I believe on debut in ASR, he's put his car in seventh in the one of the guest cars we got here. He's qualified in seventh, which I think is a reasonably mighty effort for your first outing in the Dev Series. Well done, and it's good to just see newcomers coming along, giving it a crack.
That's a really good time, actually. A 3-2. Now, I'll go off to live races here. So, just forgive me for a second for bringing up the splash screen and talking nonsense for a little bit. So, we were having a look at the times earlier, but we might as well have a look at sort of compare what the drivers did last year to what they have just done this year. And it's a marked improvement for a number of drivers out there. So last year, of course, in 2021, just the qualifying session. I'm not going to go off the race, the race sessions, but the pole time was at 1:02.997 by Braxton Stancliffe, and then we had Termo and Daniel Cox on a 3-1 and a 3-2, a 3-3 for Peter Thrower, which in this session he's actually gone slower, so he's stayed probably about the same speed. In fact, his fastest in the practice sessions was a 3-2. So he has found a little bit of time. Just couldn't do it in the session that mattered. Had Darren Kemp do a 3-5 this year. What did he manage? So Darren Kemp in the previous session. Once this all loads up, if it wants to. There we go. Darren Kemp a 4-3, and that's just seat time. He was a little bit late jumping in tonight, and last year I think he put in a few more laps, so bit of a difference there, but still just in terms of sort of the top five. So a 2-9, 3-1, 3-2, 3-3, and 3-5. That was your top five last year. This year, a 2-7, a 2-7, a 2-8, a 2-9, and a 3-0 with another 3-0 in sixth. So as you can see, even though we've had drivers get promoted, Snipes, the field has still improved still. So good effort from all these guys to put in not only time to try and improve, but also want to improve as well. So good effort from all these guys out there tonight.
Yeah, look, that's the aim of the game, is it not? Like, this is a development series, develop these drivers, and you'd argue plenty of those times are very much competent enough to race in main game. So that's big ups to a lot of these development drivers who've honed their craft. Some have been doing it longer than others, but it's the will to want to get better and put a bit of practice in and understand your racecraft and understand kind of what's happening around you on track, and results follow that, and as does pace.
Yeah, but as you all know, qualifying is only one small piece of the puzzle. But back to obviously Ryan Cox on debut tonight. A 1:03.275 last year, that would have put him fourth on the grid behind Daniel Cox, who did a 3:210. So it's still a very respectable and very good effort from Cox on debut. And of course, we do have other guys like McGillivray as well, 3.5, and Luke Yeager, who's a bit up and down, but he's also right there as well there on a 4.1 with a good effort from him. So yeah, in for interesting night of racing, and I know we've got some fast drivers out there, Snipes. We do have drivers out there in the warm-up session right now getting some practice in. There's a bit of carnage that I don't want to show, but I'm trying to pick a winner, and obviously you can't, from what we saw in the practice sessions, it's difficult to go by Noah Tara, who's very consistent in the car, but with regards to how the tyres play out, I reckon this could be similar to Gold Coast. We do have walls quite close to the circuit, and if you do make mistakes, it can lead to, catastrophic outcomes for at least your own car anyway. So I reckon it's going to be a very difficult night for these guys, and I can't really pick a solid winner just because of the way the tyres are going to be.
Yeah, absolutely. It's hard to pick a winner most nights. There may be some clear favourites, and whilst Tara in practice had the class of the field, he couldn't get it done in qualifying. Is that something to write home about, or will he put it together in a race? We know he is very good in a race car. If he does put it together, I'd put him as the favourite. But nevertheless, there's competence all around that whole top 10 in this league now. The driving standards, like aside from some of the crashing, is quite good.
Yeah, and as we've seen, track position, particularly at a number of circuits, track position can be key. If you're behind the wrong driver, you can be stuck there for 3/4 of the race. There's been times where Tara's been a standout in qualifying and or in practice, hasn't quite put it together in qualifying, has had a bad start, and has ended up having to fight his way back to the front again. So that is something that it will be important here, is not being stuck behind a guy that you are faster than, because you're not going to get that time back. It's such a short lap, Snipes.
And it's so easy to lose time behind someone you're a little bit faster than. If you're a little bit faster than someone, it's hard to get past a lot of the time, particularly if they know what they're doing defensively. It can actually present a real challenge for you.
Yeah, so that will be things to look out for. Definitely, the start is going to be mighty important for a number of these guys. I don't know how many starts Ryan Cox has done. Obviously, he can wheel around the circuit quite nice, but to start a car in, say, iRacing or any of the other sims is one thing, but a different kettle of fish here in AMS. It's different even between this and, of course, R Factor as well. You know, different physics at play, different tyre model and all that, and even different clutch rates and all that stuff as well. So, he's out there practicing race laps at the moment, but the start could be the deciding factor whether you get a good result or you get stuck behind drivers that, after a couple laps, once that rear left starts to fall away, which it does very quickly around here, you could end up finding yourself losing more than just a couple tenths per lap. You could end up losing a second or two, or even be involved in an accident that wasn't your fault because the car in front just lost it. So, mighty important.
Yeah, totally. And on top of that, also things like pit entry. If you may find yourself you needing to pit, you may decide you need to pit. If you haven't practiced a pit entry, it could be easy to go in a bit too hot on dead tires. You may lock up. You could just make a small mistake, or just overread it, not read the situation well enough. Sorry, and just go in too hot, or slow it far too much and lose much time. But I think going in hot is definitely the worst of those two.
Yeah, it is a very difficult juggling act. First lap, you've got all these cars in front and behind. If you brake too early, you're probably going to get rear-ended. If you brake too late, you could end up causing a massive pile-up. So you've got to be quite measured. You also can't be too conservative as well. All right, time has expired here in the practice, or in the warm-up session. So you look at Rody, team boss, with one of his manning drivers, Zach Brown, right behind him, looking to find some time. But just demonstrates, Rody quite a bit slower than Zach Brown, but there's no clear-cut places to really get a move on, even when you are significantly faster than the car in front. If the car in front is placing the car in the right spot, or the wrong spot depending on your perspective, it's going to be difficult to pass. So we may see some desperado stuff. Hopefully not too desperado where we see people getting fired off, but it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, for sure. And it's a hard place to pass. A few places are quite difficult to go side by side at, so people are getting desperate, trying to send something down at one that may not be on. It's easy to understeer into someone. You're both off the circuit very, very quickly. There could be people daring to go side by side through the last couple of corners, notoriously very difficult and probably not advisable. But, I suppose it can be done in real life. People want to emulate that at some point. It'll be intriguing to see how people set up moves, and particularly in these front guys, whether they just run line astern or whether there is a bit of battling going on.
Yeah, well, in the sim, I definitely wouldn't advise it. It did cost me, I wouldn't say it cost me a championship, but ruled my opportunity of a championship, and I'll bring this up until the end of time back here in 2018 in the Supercars Championship when I believe it was Thomas McMillan and Emily Jones were side by side to the final corner, made contact, particularly spun, and I had nowhere to go, and picked up pretty much race-ending damage. Well, it wasn't race-ending, but severe damage, puncture, a lap down, so... Wouldn't advise it, but yeah, look, if both drivers can hold on, I mean, it's a fair effort. But it's difficult enough in real life, let alone in the sim, where you don't quite have all the sensors there with you that you do in real life. And I reckon in real life, the cars have maybe just a little bit of extra grip compared to the sim, which can be quite slippy at times. Alright, as you guys heard, the siren in the background, and that means only one thing. It ticked over to the race session. We're about, well, a minute and change, because the old server does like, the AMS now, for whatever reason, does like to have a good old sync between sessions. Not sure why. It's just been something that's been happening the last year and a half. And seeing that... Old Snipes is having some issues.
Oh, we've got it now, thankfully. We've got it now, actually. Just as we ticked over the race session. We missed all the quali, sadly, from the viewing perspective, but it's okay. We're going to get to see the race.
Well, I'll bring it up anyway for you, just in case you need it again. But drivers now forming up onto the grid. So there we are. Seeing a number of people there in the chat, in particular Daniel Cox. Coxie's big break. That was one of my favourite sayings, and if I was going to bring a driver back to this series just for one saying, it would be that. But Snipes, here we are, the formation lap, 20 plus cars. I'll let you get on with it.
Yeah, excellent. Look, fantastic effort. A PB from Zach Brown in that qualifying session puts him at the front of the grid. Starting alongside him is the ever-impressive Bailey Hall. He'll be looking to try and get a good start and hopefully lead from the front. Behind him, Noah Turra, probably what I'd pick as a favourite for the race, but yeah, that is so hard to say. And alongside him is the leading Kiwi of the group, the great hope for us New Zealanders here, early on at least, Cheese out of P4, good effort from him. Starting behind him is his teammate, but not his countryman, Nathan Higginson in the HME powered by KSS car. And alongside Nathan Higginson, we have Locke starting out of 6th, so it's going to be a very, very entertaining third row in the grid here. In fact, those three cars, all championship protagonists. And behind Locke, we have Ryan Cox there on debut, P7. That is an absolutely fantastic result from him. Behind Ryan Cox, we have Peter Thrower, the second of the Kiwis in the top 10, which is good effort from him. And another Kiwi we found out today, Reese McGillivray, starting out of P9, beside yet another Kiwi from Pukekohe, Luke Yeager. We're showing up in the top 10 tonight. It's very good to see at our home race. Out of 11th, we have Matt Cecil tonight. A reasonable effort, but he'll want to move forwards. And starting alongside him, Taipan out of P12. P13 for Darren Kemp, probably not where he'd want to be, but I imagine he's got the ability to move forward throughout this evening, so one to watch perhaps. And starting alongside him is Brap. Ayrton Filippi out of P15, and starting alongside him is Darren Lochnan. Then we have Damo out of P17, I think the last of the Kiwis on the grid here, alongside Cracker. And then we've got Brody out of P19. Oh, sorry, with another Kiwi here, Parallax, that is Cheese's brother. Then rounded out, we have Brian Rolsh in P21, Melody Smith in P22, Hayden Cupid in P23, and Justin Cecil rounding out the grid in P24. A lot of cars, not a lot of time. We got there.
We got another car from when I last saw as well. I thought it was 22 before, and then you corrected me at 23, and now we got 24, so they just keep appearing. Looks like there's a driver out of position there, so we had a slight delay. Couldn't see who it was, but lights are ablaze. And race 1 underway. Looks like a poor start from Bailey Hall, and there's McGillivray, unfortunately. One of the home drivers is around in the background there, but Brown will lead into turn 1. Noah Turra already having a look for the lead, but here we go, 3 and 4.
Yeah, hard to go side by side through these corners. You've really got to be careful to navigate it, but largely the field seems to be doing it quite well through the mid-pack. No one really running too wide, no one off the circuit. Reasonably clean start down to the back straight. Zach Brown with a good lead initially over the two sparring combatants behind him. Noah Tara, who's made his way up to second, and Bailey Hall, who's under pressure from Cheese. It is all on in the first lap.
And Tara there, not quite getting the good run off of turn 4. Come under pressure a little bit from Halls. We see Cheese very squiggly out of there, and almost he is into the back of Bailey Hall. Doesn't lose too much time out of all that. Matt Cecil's had a fantastic start. He's up 4 spots up into 7th. And battling Locke. Obviously, he's battling hard for a team's championship or to try and get himself into at least 2nd. And one of the cars, or the main car is battling, is actually Locke for that spot as well. So he's not going to give up. We've got Thrower as well, having a look up the inside of Matt Cecil now into turn 1. And not a known overtaking spot, but he's got the run, as we see. Cheese having a little bit of a wobble there as well. And we've got, in the background, Cox having a look at Taipan as well. So all action from the start.
Yeah, it's producing some good racing early as everyone kind of jostles to fight on the racetrack, try and get past people that may slow you up. And we're seeing a little bit of that here. Kemp all over the back of Brad. Is he going to shake for a move? He does. Late under brakes. Will he be able to pull it up? Okay, looks like he does. Excellent move from Kemp as yellows come out.
We got a car around. Who is that? It's one car that's off. It's Darren Loughnane. Looks like he's spun it or had some kind of issue. Filippi's missed the chicane. What has happened there to Darren Loughnane? We'll go back on the replay. He's still there. Maybe a game or PC issue here.
It's been a whole lap. Then you'd have to assume.
Oh, he's been. No, here we go. Yeah, this to me looks like that looks like a PC issue. He's still there, but back live. And Noah Toa now right behind Zach Brown, who's holding on for dear life. Bailey Hall has recovered after that slight bit of contact. And Higginson now up into 4th. He's got Cheese between himself and his championship rival. You see Noah Tara looking to make a move. Brown not defending it. You can hold on around the outside. You will have the inside for turn number 6. Tara going to try and hold on here. He's going to have the inside.
It's tricky to go through there side by side, but fresh tyres still, and he does have the inside for the hairpin, and it's opened the door also for Bailey Hall to slide through into 2nd. So very opportunistic move for Bailey Hall. Are they going to try to go side by side here? They are not. It looks like they're sorting themselves out. Hall wise enough to see position 2 Brown there. They don't want to try it.
All the front 3 still very, very close together, and I think smartly Bailey Hall did back out of that. You see fastest lap from Higginson at 1:03.5 is a solid lap time, but how much tyre did he use to do it is the question. As you see, Zach Brown very committed through 3 and 4, but he couldn't quite get through 2 and 3, couldn't quite get the nose in for turn 4, and that's why he's suffered all the way down here. The toe helping him though. The front 4, a little bit of a gap now over Cheese. He's got ahead of Locke here, so going to cut to a replay. Where has this happened?
I think he came out in front of Locke actually when he it was Higgo that got around him, I believe.
Yeah, there you go. It's, again, a cut back live. Bailey Hall having a look at Zach Brown, and this is exactly what Noah Tara wants. He wants these guys behind to battle and use up their tyres, and he's able to also build up a lead at the same time, and it's also allowing Locke to close in onto the back of this. And obviously home race for Cheesy. He's hoping all these front 4 just all end up fencing each other here, and he ends up in the lead in the background. And we got Thrower and Matt Cecil still at it as well.
Yeah, another move into 1 for Thrower. He's got it done again. He's picking it as a favourable spot. He's looking like he's got a bit of pace around here, does Pete? He hasn't had a lot of seat time in the supercar recently, but I think he's put in a couple of laps for this one, and it's showing a little bit.
And there we go. There's that. That's just the 2 different lines, and you can see there that he's still pulling away from him despite the slipstream. Just that exit that Thrower got compared to Cecil, that wider line, and he's carried a little bit too much speed there into turn 5. Would have lost a little bit of time, but he'll be hoping those cars in front continue to battle, which they are. Higginson's got himself now up into 3rd. Now we've got Cheese right behind Bailey Hall. So Oh, cut to a little replay here. So Higginson just getting the move done. Zach Brown actually...
Oh.
Oh, Zach Brown was deep under brakes and Hall had nowhere to go and had to get out of the power. And Higginson just went around the outside, almost killed himself on the exit. And able to just hold on. His tyres wouldn't have liked that. Noah Torres certainly did, and so did Zach Brown.
Yeah, Higginson leaving his signature there as he goes past. Definitely fortunate. Obviously, Higo had still had to put his car in the spot mode to get the move done, and he's looking racy as Nathan Higginson. He's moved up the order since he started onto the podium, 3rd position, and he's looking fast. He's possibly shaping for a move up the inside of Zach Brown here, down into 5. Zach Brown leaves him a bit of room there, well enough. He wasn't incredibly far alongside. He was up alongside enough for space, though, and well worked by Zach Brown as he maintains it. He goes and defends it to the hairpin.
And Hall going to try and go around the outside. Cheese, a little bit of contact with Hall, a little bit of payback, I guess. Actually, no, he's done the same thing. My bad, but here we go.
Hall will be having nightmares right now as we see Locke trying to take advantage of it, but he's...
Oh, Cheese is wide.
He's wide. Yes, he is. And Locke with a good run. Will he shape for a move into 1? It's a good opportunity. Cheese is defensive. He's going to leave Locke on the outside. No, it looks like they're going to fold into position. Someone was off the circuit, I think, there, but perhaps not.
Just have a look. Oh, Cheese, he's clipped it. He's the wrong angle. Clipped the curbs the wrong way. Oh, I've got a car over. Peter Thrower has rolled. Peter Thrower has rolled. I don't know how he's managed that. He's somehow ended up as well behind the... What has Peter Thrower done here? He must have clipped the curbs the wrong way or something.
Yeah.
He has. And it's gone over. And then he's bounced, what I'm guessing, because once you hit the wall and stuff like that, the game does funny things. I'm guessing he's then hit the wall and bounced through or over the catch fencing. So he's parked there.
That's his day done.
He can't get back out. He can't get back out there, I don't think. So, that's a shame at his home track. Darren Loughlin out. His game supposedly had a game minimization.
So it looks like a safety car, is it?
No, it's just the first sector. It's
just the first sector, yeah.
That's the first sector, but what a shame. One of our drivers at their home circuit.
Look, to his credit, he's trying to get it out of there, but I think at some point you're going to lap down. He might look at parking it and just try and drive from the back. He's got pace, so I mean, fun race from the back next time out.
Yeah. Oh, what a shame. In the space of probably 5 or 10 seconds, 2 of the home race hopefuls find themselves losing out time, positions, and picking up a bit of damage. And in one case, ending up on their lid and behind the wall. Which is not the first time we've seen cars behind the wall at this track. I remember, I think Wilco hit the last corner, ending up in the crowd.
That's wild, Lewis. I still can't get over that. As we look here, Bailey Hall all over the back of Nathan Higginson. Bailey Hall a bit braver under brakes into 1 there. Higo just being a bit more cautious. Hall really applying the blowtorch. It's going to be important to get a good exit out of here. Hall trying to get on the power early, but he had to back out of it. He couldn't quite find the right spot, and he carried a bit too much speed, too much understeer, which harmed his run. He may be now too far away for a move down into turn 5. It looks like he will be. So it'll just be trying to apply the pressure again. Although Higo parking a bit in the middle of the road there.
Well, and what's interesting actually, last lap Bailey Hall actually did his personal best of the race. So now that these guys have strung out a little bit, he's been able to show a little bit of speed in that car. So he does have pace of 3.7 deep into this race. I think that's actually Peter Thrower still in the background trying to find an opening in the fence, which I believe there might be one. I'm going to cut away from that. There is a gap in the fence, and he's just waiting for the field to go by, so he's able to get going and keep racing again, so he'll pick up points.
Look, I stand up and applaud that. I mean, I don't literally, I'm still sitting, but I did applaud. Good effort from Pete. That's some determination. I would have parked it when I found myself over the other side of the fence. Looking back into this battle, Hall still applying relentless pressure. That looked like a slightly better run, but perhaps the same thing. On it too early. He's not finding the width out of 3, I don't think, to set up 4. He's keeping too much of a narrow line, trying to pressure Higo on the inside, and I think it's really not helping him down the back straight.
These guys are starting to at least look like they're edging closer towards Zach Brown. And 5 laps to go. The tyres now are starting to probably get into that worn zone. We will start to see drivers getting a little bit more sideways. Some of these lines will change. These cars will get more squirrely on exit.
Absolutely, and also something just out of turns 5 and 6 down towards the hairpin. That little kink there at turn 7 will be one really to watch. It's very easy to get out sideways.
Oh, and got Cheese. Speaking of sideways, just cut to a replay. He's dropped a spot to Cecil, and I think he's gone off again at the hairpin. Yeah, he's struggle street at the moment. He's down to 8th now, Cheese. Unfortunately for him. On Cox back to where he started. Got Luke Yeager in 9th. Darren Kemp in 10th. He's got Taipan and Filippi right behind him. Then we have another Kiwi in McGillivray in 13th. Pretty sure he's the lead Super 3 runner. As you see, Taipan holding on around the outside of turn 1. So go through first chicane. Just seeing in the chat there, Rossi, Noel's tyres are the worst of the top 4. That's surprising. Perhaps he hasn't changed the... Obviously, you can change on the fly the roll bars. He's just left them at stock. But, oh, a little bit of lag there from Luke Yeager. That's unfortunate because he was in 9th. And, well, now he might find himself down a couple more spots. He's got all this angry pack behind him. There's a Taipan. He's looking to hold on. He's got Filippi all over the back of him. And now McGillivray just up the inside of Filippi. And he's going to go up the inside of Taipan. A little bit of contact, a little bit of leaning. Gets the job done. Taipan might not be happy, but McGillivray was far enough alongside to command the corner. And then in the background, looks like Rhodey and Bratt, who had been battling for a few laps. Bratt finally getting that position. So Rhodey, he needs a little bit of help here. Because McGillivray, at least in class, is getting away. But he is battling Lachlan, who is out of the race for the Super 3 honours. So that is quite an important DNF in that category, as we see Hall and Higginson continue to battle.
It certainly is quite an important DNF in that category. All Rhodey's really got to do is finish the race, and that's going to be just a big chunk of points gain. Yeah, looking back towards this battle, it's been raging for a while. Hall seems to have the pace right now over Higo, but I'm just not sure if he's got the pace in the right areas. I'm very intrigued as to how he's attacking the first chicane, essentially, turns 2 and 3, because I think he's just narrowing the corner too much and it's hurting his runs, but otherwise he's looked quite pacey, although Higo's pulled a bit of a gap here.
Yeah, he has not a good run out of the final corner for Bailey Hall. Starting to run out of time, but all it takes, Snipes, is a slight mistake, and he will have that chance.
Absolutely, he's close enough to capitalise at any moment. The moment Higo makes any mistake, and he'll be hoping for a Higo mistake.
Yeah, but he has been quite smooth in this one so far. Higginson, we've only really seen the one really big slide. That was right at that very corner there at turn 6. He's defensive here. Hall up the inside. Higginson very late to turn in. There's already car on the inside of him there. Caught by surprise. And looks like Hall actually, in fact, is going to give the position back. But
yeah, look, I think there was a questionable move there by Higo. It looks like he got caught out and just tried to defend it, honestly. Didn't see the move coming.
Yeah, that was a bit of mirror driving. And I know there was contact after that, but he probably didn't have to lift there. But Bailey Hall doing the sportsman thing there. And feel he may have been at fault for something, so decided to give the position back. So just under 2 laps to go here. Higginson needs to hold on for, well, the championship and keep as many cars between himself and Lockie Locke as possible. Well, Bailey Hall just wants to get himself on the podium. Looks like there is a little bit of lap traffic for these guys to contend with. Melody Smith just up the road. Oh, is Higginson a little bit sideways out of 6. It's going to open the door here, but Hall as well at 7. And they're all over the shop. You've got Melody Smith has spun it as well. And these guys, their tyre life, they're going to be struggling. These last couple of laps, they've been in the 4s, these two. Well, Zach Brown, he's been in the high 3s and low 4s. 4-0 and 4-0 for first and second, as we see Hall and Higginson side by side. They're both in the 5s. And
side here is dangerous at this point of the race. Tyres are not to be relied on very heavily.
and
surely one of them's going to go deep.
I don't know why Hall didn't just get out of it early and just try and set up the run, but he hasn't done that. And even with that Higo slide, it's going to be difficult to make the move into turn 5 here.
He's going to have the momentum still with a bit of slipstream. Higo's going to need to defend it, and he does defend it. All later under brakes, he's going to try and get alongside. Will he be able to stick it up alongside enough to do anything? No, he's trying now to switch back. Instead, he's not quite there, though. He's not quite close enough. He's relying on Higo to have a slide here, which Higo doesn't.
He's
he
deep.
can't defensively.
He's going to try the outside. It's going to be difficult on worn tyres. Gets the old family feed on the exit. And I think Higginson should hold on to that position, barring a mistake. Noah Tara will claim victory. And Zach Brown will come home in second, but they're side by side. Hall's around. Higginson will hold on. I thought Hall was around. And Locke will come home in 5th place. An impressive 6th place for Mr. Cox. Another one out for his big break. And he got a bit of a break in that one. Not a big break, but a little break. P6 for him. Matt Cecil in 7th. Cheese home in 8th. Bit of a disaster for him. And Darren Kemp will just come home in 9th. Someone in the wall there at the last corner. I think that's Jaeger there. Kemp in 9th. McGillivray 10th. Taipan 11th. Filippi home in 12th. Justin Cecil 13th. Luke Jaeger in 14th at his home track. Looks like some late drama there. Brapp in 15th. Rhodey 16th. Hayden Cooper in 17th. Ahead of Brian Walsh and Cracker. Good to see him out there. And then we have Damo. He'll cross the line here in 20th. And we have Parallax, Melody Smith and Peter Thrower all lap traffic. Obviously Peter Thrower having to do the old adventure around the outside of the track. And looks like he's had another... Well, he is at the end of his race, but he's had another adventure there in the gravel trap. But what did happen right there to... I think it was Luke Jaeger there in the final corner there, Snipes.
I'm really not too sure. I think Pete Thrower's now adventure man after that. Oh my lord, this looks like a bust up here.
What has happened here? And we're going side by side. He's ran wide. In fact, I think I'll pause it here and I'll try and find... I think the best man to look at this would be Filippi behind it all. So Taipan and Jaeger side by side through 9 and 10.
Oh.
And once you're out wide out there, you're not getting it back. Ran wide. This is literally exactly how I lost 2018. Well, not quite that, but the same kind of contact. And I was in Filippi's shoes here, albeit slightly to the left. And he's able to make... Well, he really has no real time to react or anywhere to go. Makes slight contact with Jaeger, who gets turned around, and then both these guys able to continue on, although it looks like Jaeger did end up lifting and giving that position to Justin Cecil.
I'll look at an early episode of Crash reviews for this round here with Lewis winning, and a good one at that. Look at that. We've started early, but reasonably overall a pretty good effort from the field. I think minimal crashes. I mean, there was a couple of spectacular ones. Noting Peter Thrower, gosh, he was absolutely sending it on his roof.
Yeah, someone should probably go and clip that. Clip it, save it, and if they do that, I'll go and upload it to Moment in History. It's been a while since I've done that, but that was... I still don't know how he's managed to do that. Obviously, we did see the replay. He did clip the curve that get him on 2 wheels, but AMS does some funny things. But yeah, once you get past that little point and you're up on 2 wheels and you keep turning that wrong way, that's what can happen. Unfortunately, he didn't turn and counter steer. Which would have dropped him back down. It is difficult because you're against I guess all senses where you want to turn right to keep turning and not hit the wall, but if you don't, you're going to roll over and hit the wall on your roof. So just unfortunate, but pretty spectacular though. What do you give it? I think it was pretty solid 8.5. I think.
Yeah, look, it was quite entertaining. I'll happily stick with that. Maybe an 8 because I feel the start of it could have been perhaps a little bit more, I don't know, flamboyant. So the start could have been flamboyant, but the end, well, that was excellent. The ending was 10 out of 10 there, Lewis. So, but we'll dock it a bit of points for the weird start. If he was flying from the outset, it would have been fantastic. Um, but overall, yeah, good racing, hard racing, definitely from plenty of these drivers. Interesting to see the actual pace. Noatara did pull it out. The consistency came to be. He got through the traffic and then stayed away from the battles. So very well raced from Noah there, I thought. But great battles all up and down the field. The top five was spectacular for a lot of that, as was a lot of the midfield when we cut to battles there. So very good effort.
Yeah, we did see a number of sort of groups really group together and have some good racing throughout. Maybe one or two drivers that ended up having a fairly quiet finish to the race, but for the most part, there, yeah, it looked like everybody had someone to race, which is, in these kinds of series, this is what you want. You want to be out there, and even if you're not battling for the win, you want to have someone to keep you entertained and to defend from, or to try and pass that little carrot in front of you. So looks like everybody had that. And yeah, from what we saw, most of the racing was pretty respectful, and you know, at least so far, no major incidents to really deal with. So good to see, and hopefully races 2 and 3 go that way. But anyway, we'll take a short couple-minute break between races 1 and 2 here, but we will be back. Don't go anywhere. Alrighty, and welcome back to round 11 of the ASR Development Series from Pukekohe Park Raceway here in Pixel, New Zealand, where Noah Tara has taken victory in race number 1. Zach Brown has finished second, with Nathan Higginson just holding on, with Bailey Hall in 4th position. And with that, I do have, it's not quite completed yet, but I do have an update on the championship standings. So the gap has come down to 142 points between Locke and Nathan Higginson. So only a measly 12 points, but any point gained is valuable. But Higginson is going to have to find a bit of extra pace and probably steal, win, or something like that to try and get even more points here, and really start to apply the blowtorch to Locke, because at the moment all Locke has to do really is just finish in the top 5, and he'll come home as the series overall champion, with Cheese now 203 points behind. So obviously he had some dramas in that last one. Coming home in 8th, not the worst result in the world, but could have been better. Also could have been worse, with Darren Kemp home in 9th place. So slight update, I'll go through the top 10 while we are waiting to tick over here. So Locke, of course, still leading the championship on 2,182 points. Nathan Higginson on 2,040. With Cheese on 1,979. Darren Kemp, 1,872. With Justin Cecil now out of the championship hopes, being 558 points behind. So unless he won every race and those in front of him picked up some, well, in particular Locke picked up some penalty points. If that doesn't happen, he's pretty much out of it. So yeah, without penalty points, he's out of it. And then we have Steve Warwick, not here this evening. Hopefully you're doing well, on 1,486. Zach Brown on 1,419. So he's coming fast here. He will sneak ahead of Steve Warwick tonight. In fact, probably in this race, if all things go well. But if he pushes hard enough, he might even give Justin Cecil a run for his money. But Zach Brown there on 1,360. Zach Brown has got to look out there for Noah Tara there. Not too far away, and he's moving up fast. Taipan 1,358 is just ahead of Bailey Hall. He's got himself into the top 10 now, just ahead of Luke Yeager and Matt Cecil. So Cecil's dropped down, and also 2 points behind Luke Yeager, after Yeager dropped to 14th right at the end there. Then we have Rody on 1,148 points. He's got a 104 point gap over Darren Locke, and that DNF really hurt him. But at the same time, Rody was only able to manage 16th, so only put 38 points on Darren Loughnane. So if Loughnane really, if he's able to put together a race or two here and just nibble some points away and then has a big Bathurst, he still is in contention for the Super 3 title. And then of course we do have Brapp and Peter Thrower as well, a little bit further a ways down there, but they're just racing for fun at the moment. So still have the 2 classes up for grabs, but just looking at how the drivers have performed and the points to get down there for Super 3, it's going to be difficult for Lachlan to grab those points back. And also at the front, Higginson really is going to need Locke to have a bad race or two to get back in it, because even if Higginson finishes on the podium pretty much at every race, if Locke's there or thereabouts, he's not going to get enough points back, even with Bathurst being double points. Or not double points, but being a different point structure. We've ticked over to the race session, and we have had, this is drama, oh no, it's not drama, did have Nathan Higginson when it ticked over Looks like his game crashed or something like that. He'd left the game, so it is restarting. But yeah, hopefully it doesn't happen again here. And further delays, so that's not good for my voice box or my throat. But we'll keep at it. And Snipes
You
is
can
back.
do it, Lewis. Yeah, no, I was quite enjoying you just chatting. What can we waffle about now? Let me tell you, I got an interesting. It's nothing to do with the race, but this was my first ever event, and my first ever spin was at turn 8, and you got it on broadcast, you bastard. I remember watching it. I was very salty about it. Like, it was like the first time I'd spun, I was in the league, and I got it. So yes, thank you for that. Around goes Snipes. It haunts me to this day. It's rather devastating.
In fact, right now I'm going to go back and find that, and it will get brought up between the next race. I'm not sure how long this restart will take, but I'm actively looking for it right now so I can bring that up. So obviously that was a little while ago now, Snipes. That was
round 4, 2020. Pukekohe. It's cool that I got my first round was my home round essentially, but yeah, straight when COVID hit, and the grid filled up massively.
Yeah, that was yeah. We went from I think having 6 or 7 cars at the previous round I think at Simmons Plains to then coming to Pukekohe and having we as I was saying prior to the broadcast starting, we had to actually create and put more cars onto the grid. We had I think 28 or so people, sign or 25 people sign up from the few that we already had. So we had I think 30 or so signed up, or 29 something like that showed up the night. So it was a big event and a lot of cars around such a small circuit. So thankfully you enjoyed that spin enough that you come back the next time. And you're still here, so you must be doing something right.
Next time I actually got a podium. Humble brag there, but I got my first podium. It was only because it was a reverse grid race. I wasn't good enough for an actual podium. But yeah, no, it was lit a fire. I really enjoyed it. Well, we're still here today.
Yeah, we certainly are. And still kept those very healthy grid sizes here as well, which is fantastic. Testament to everybody in the group as we're about to get underway here. Doesn't look like anyone's crashed this time. We've got 24 drivers in the server. All we need to do is get this formation lap underway, which we are, and it's my turn to run through the grid, which of course Noah Turra now will start from pole position with Zach Brown alongside him. Then we have Nathan Higginson in 3rd. Bailey Hall in 4th position. Locke will start from position 5. Ryan Cox up the spot from his qualifying effort. It was probably one of the drivers that did end up having a fairly quiet second half of the race ahead of Luke Yeager, who they both had a little bit of a drama in the final corner and the final lap. And then we have Bratt starting from 15th with Rhodey in 16th position. We have Hayden Cooper starting 17th with Brian Walsh, for whatever reason, trying to go 2x2 the entire lap on the formation lap. He'll start from 18th ahead of Cracker. Good to see him back out there. Hasn't been able to make every round. Of course, I think he moved up to Darwin and then he's moved back down to I think South Australia again. So he's been up and down. It's good to see him back out there. He'll start 19th with Damo in 20th position ahead of Paralix, which is Cheese's brother, I believe. And then we have Melody Smith 22nd. Peter Thrower, he'll be looking not to roll it this time. He's got pace in that thing. He's just got to not throw it off the road and end up into the I think it's a Mitre 10 that's down there.
Yeah, it is actually.
And then we have Darren Lockner starting from 24th after an unfortunate game minimisation and crash. So he's got work to do in the championship, but we have seen he does have some speed when he can put it all together. All right, those at the back forming up now. And now we wait. Higginson, an aggressive angle on his car here. Someone slightly out of position. And that looks like Ryan Cox there. Didn't get a break on that one. Lights are on. Who gets the jump? And, fantastic looking start, at least initially, and it is for Zach Brown. Higginson, decent start, but then lit it up. No spin for McGillivray straight off this time. I've actually forgotten the last race he did spin off the line, so good recovery from him. And Higginson trying to go around the outside. Has to take a bit of curb here. And there's Walsh also a little bit wide as well. And for the most part, no major dramas, but solid start from Zach Brown again. Higginson putting the blowtorch to Noah Turra.
And he'll want to get by him quickly. He knows Noah Turra's quick, and he knows that Noah Turra stays in front. He's going to be a hard man to catch as they all pile down into turn 4. Resolve it. Cheese and Cecil also brawling together, and they're going to go through 9 and 10.
We got a spin. That's I think that's Damo in the background, but no safety cars. They're still going.
Yes, they do carry it on up the front of the field. It's all line astern up the front here. Noah Turra starting to apply pressure to Zach Brown. He's caught a lot of that gap. They're banging doors here. Ryan Cox, and beside him, I'm not sure.
Darren Kemp
it was. Yes, they're banging doors down the front straight. Risky stuff, but Cox maintains position there. Good effort, good racing, hard racing.
Yeah, Kemp, as we know, difficult man to pass. You don't want to get behind him, so Cox holds on there. And now we have Cheese and Matt Cecil. And Cheese just, maybe a slight bit of contact with the back of Cecil there. But with Zach Brown in the lead and him battling with Noah Turra, these front group haven't broken away just yet. But also have Higginson and Bailey Hall resuming their battle for race 1. As Noah Turra looks to get the switchback on Zach Brown, but to no avail. But once again, looks like it's only a matter of time here. A little bit of a wobble over the bump for Brown. Is he going to defend it this time? He didn't in race 1. Will he do it in race 2? A little bit of warping there for Noah Turra.
Yeah, not ideal for Turra there. He settles back into second though. Fight another day, all good. He is pressing on as they are all line astern there. Through the first few corners, turn 2, 3, 4, there we see up to the back straight. Cheese side by side with Matt Cecil. Looks like he's got a bit of run there. He'll be wanting to get past Matt Cecil. He knows he'll probably have the pace on him throughout the race. As we see down here, the braking zone into turn 5, hard on the brakes here. Cheese has consolidated that move on Cecil now, and he will look to try move himself forward as we see them side by side again up the front.
Yeah, they are battling hard here, and now Higginson's into the fray as well. And Zach Brown wide at the hairpin again. But again, he's going to have the inside to turns 9 and 10, which is pretty vital here. You don't want to be on the outside and offline because it will kill your run through the final corner. So Turra smartly backs out of it. But all that happening brings them all together. As Bailey Orr's very wide there.
Yeah, it was very wide indeed. It caught me out a bit. I thought he was going to go off for a second, but he kept it on. Yes, the front 4 battling hard. It is high pressure, and Zach Brown's cracked a little bit. A little bit of a mistake into turn 3. Noah Turra trying to get on the power early. Bit of a wiggle there. It slowed up Nathan Higginson.
Brown running wide there actually gave him a better run coming out of the corner because it sort of opened up the exit for him a little bit. So he's able to get on the power a little bit earlier. But here we go. Turra up the inside. Brown's going to try and hold on the inside at the next corner here at 6. And, well, it's almost a replay of what happened in race number 1. And Brown's got to look out for Higginson. He's going to try and send it straight away.
This will feel like a replay. It was Bailey Hall race 1. It's Nathan Higginson race 2. He says, I will go past 2. Thank you very much. But no, Zach Brown maintains the inside and maintains the position.
Oh, Higgins is around. He's around. He's dropped it on the bump. And, well, that's disastrous. He's going to... Oh, he's smartly...
This is dangerous.
That's actually quite awkward there. But no one's hit him. And lives to fight another day. Able to flick spin it in a way where he didn't come straight back onto the racing line. It was lucky there's a bit of a gap between cars there. But, that's almost... That is championship changing stuff. That's he's going to need quite a miracle to get back up to where he was now.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to require a good drive, but it's also going to require a measured drive. He needs to still execute his overtake smartly because this pack in front are going to be hard to battle still.
Yeah, it is. As we see, Kemp defending, and straight away Higginson looking to make a move on Filippi. She does so, and now he's going to try and look to make a move on Cooper, who's up 5 spots from the start. And he's going to get the move done, and Filippi's going to try and follow him through here. As Jaeger looks to try and get past Kemp, so good luck with that, Luke. Also got Cheese now just ahead of McGillivray. Battle for the Kiwis here. Great start from McGillivray, up 4 spots. Don't think he quite has the pace of those cars in front of him, but he's had a fantastic start so far to this one, and could pick up another really good result here.
Look, he's in a Super 3 car, but I'd say McGillivray there is Super 2 tier. He's certainly got the pace. He's hanging out with some pretty top talent here, so he's certainly got reasonable pace in that machine.
Coopered around in the background there, but we've got 2x2 here. Bit of Noah's Ark action here into turn 5.
It's like someone backed out of that early. That was very intriguing to me. I couldn't quite see exactly what happened, but they're side by side still. Higginson trying to get through his back.
Justin Cecil as well, just trying to hold on, and now Higginson right behind Kemp. It's all happening here. Now Filippi having a look, cars around the inside, outside. The way this is going, there's bound to be some drama here, Snipes.
Is it tickets, please, Lewis? Is it Kemp here trying to just hold on for dear life to his position? He's getting bumps through the final corner. Risky business. He's
gone! That's it. That's it. That's the championship done and dusted, barring a DNF, and oh Jesus, he's done it again. He's just gassed it up with cars oncoming. He's just a little bit too eager to get it going. So we'll cut back to the replay and look at it from Higginson's point of view. So obviously feels he's got the run here, but a little bit of a nudge, you can forgive that, but then he's gone again. I thought at this point, or even go to slow-mo, I thought at this point here, in fact, he may even be warping through Kemp, and he was. I thought from the onboard that Kemp was going to get spud around, but instead it was Higginson warped through him, but then ran wide on the grass while also slide oversteer, and then slight bit of contact when he was out of control with Kemp, and then he went round the other way. So, yeah, he's all the way down now. In fact, 15th position. Good luck. All the best, Nathan Higginson, for the rest of this one and for the next race, because he's got a bit of work to do. But here we have McGillivray and Cox battling it out. A couple of newcomers. Because McGillivray's been around for a few rounds now. But Cox here in his first weekend. And in fact, I wonder if there may have been something that we haven't seen, maybe a little bit of contact, or maybe he just feels he's got not quite as much speed as Cox at this point. He's just decided to let him go there. So not sure what that was about, but I guess we'll find out in the next few laps. We still have Cheese. Well, Cheese is actually caught up to the back of Locke here. And these guys aren't far away from Bailey Hall. And Zach Brown was Cheese very wide there, and almost does the same thing as what Higginson does, with a slight slide on getting on the grass. Manages to save it, but you won't want to do that too many times.
Touchy moments there. Certainly not a place you want to be having a wiggle. You don't want to have a wiggle anywhere, but going the speeds you're going out of turn 11, it's up 200 kilometers an hour pretty easily. So it's getting close to it anyway. It's very fast, and yeah, not a good place to be going sideways. So well done to keep it. It's crazy that we just react and do these things automatically. Looking here at Zach Brown and Bailey Hall side by side there through turn 5 and 6 down to the kink of turn 7. Will Zach Brown go defensive to the hairpin? He doesn't look like he has, and he's left the door open, and Bailey Hall said, "Thank you very much, I will grab that inside." Now Zach Brown
has got the run.
Maintain the outside though.
He's got there is a little bit of camber on the outside of the corner, and he's used it beautifully. He's got the traction off of it. And
he'll driven defensively.
He'll hold on for now. These guys now losing time to Tara, who's done 2 consecutive fastest laps. So these guys just battling for position here. 104.5 for Brown. These guys will want to be going a bit faster than that, but yeah, these guys want to battle for second place here. And you have seen in the background now, Cheese has got by Locke. So Not sure where that happened. Obviously on that last lap, once again, Bailey Hall having a look at the inside at 5. Brown going to hold on around the outside. At the inside for 6. Trying to do what Noah Turra did. But surely at this stage he knows what's going to happen. And once again, well, roles reversed this time. Hall going to try and go around the outside. No, it's going to try the switch back, but that's not going to work there. And this is bringing Cheese and Locke into play here.
It's certainly not over for second, and there's definitely a few people who could theoretically get it. Zach ran a bit wide there, or was it Bailey Hall trying to get on the gas too early? I'm not sure. It could have been a bit of both, to be fair. But it's all like Bailey Hall's showing a lot of things here. He's showing Zach Brown a lot of looks here. So we see yellows out in sector 1. Who's off?
It's Melody Smith.
Melody Smith.
Oh, safety car. That is a safety car. Now, I wonder, will we see people pit for tyres? Because these tyres aren't going to be all that good at the end of the race. Now, if you're further down the field, if you're someone... Oh, Roadie's gone around. If I was someone like Thrower here... Oh, no, they've all missed the pit entry. But if I'm one of these guys at the back of the field, Peter Thrower in particular, like he's already at the back. We know he's got some speed in it. The pace, you already have a pace advantage over these guys. Add new tyres onto that, and you're going to be even faster. So,
right at the back, it seems to be a no-brainer. If you can avoid going a lap down, then why wouldn't you? It absolutely would. And to be fair, Peter will be.
Leaders have gone around again, and they've caught the safety car at turns 2 and 3. Some of those guys at the front, I know they, you want to have track position and you don't really want to give it up. So those guys, I understand why they wouldn't want to pit, but they also had a bit of a gap to these guys in behind that didn't seem like they were driving at full speed. So yeah, all these guys are well off their normal speed, so they may have been able to pick up a little bit of time and a position or two if they did pit, or not have lost as many positions, but you do see Roadie into the pits, so he's going to put some fresh boots on. And we've got Parallax and Peter Thrower in the pits, and Walshy. So these guys all at the back deciding to... I wouldn't even call it throwing the dice here. I reckon if you are towards the back of the field here, I do think it is the move to do.
So this is like the stamp and send it territory. Get on some new boots. Get on some quick tyres. You're going to be sprinting. Go 100% rest of the way. Everyone else is going to be on dead tyres, bar these other guys boxing with you.
But the thing is, you've got to beat the safety car out there. So the safety car now is coming around the final turn. We'll have a look in the pit lane. And Walshy might... Well, I don't think Walshy's going to beat it out, He may have gone a lap too early. Yeah, he's going to end up in the pack. So he's going to end up buried. I don't know what the game's going to do here. I'd probably tell him to feed out and stay behind someone here. So it may affect someone. So sometimes it pays just to stay out that extra lap when you are at the back behind when the safety car does get called. Just to catch up to it and then pit. Just so you don't go the lap down, particularly on these shorter circuits. And unfortunately for Walshy, he's found out the hard way. And it looks like he's dropping back and letting people go here. Now, I don't think the game will like that too much. But I do believe we have some... I think Rossi is in as a spectator and is able to clear any safety car penalties that are incorrectly given. So yeah, Ian has Cracker and Melody Smith behind him, and gives him the old brake check there. He's up Walshy. So this is going to be interesting here now, Snipes, because Zach Brown's back in it, Bailey Hall's back in it, Cheese we've seen having a big crack. As you see, safety car going around again. Of course, we do have overtime, 1 green, white checker lap if we need it. So we will have 1 lap of racing.
Yeah, see, that I suppose I mean, that's quite good if you're at the front. If you don't want to lose too many positions, it's not good for someone like Higo because he doesn't have long and he's going to have to send it. The good thing is a lot of people would have closed up for him, so he may get the chance to get 2 or 3 moves done. But it's not a lot of time to work.
Yeah, not much time to work, but he's able to get closer to the cars in front of him at the same time. And if one of those guys in, like, let's say in that front group, or even Locke makes a mistake, he was so far back after his own mistakes that they probably would have stayed in front of him anyway. Now that the safety car's been called, you're going to see guys going out there and battling hard. He could still find himself up a few positions, just because, the whole field has bunched up. So, in particular, obviously it's his first round, but you probably won't want to ruffle too many feathers. But let's say it was a different driver that's been around a while. You've got the championship leader in front of you who doesn't want anything to do with racing another car and being involved in an incident at this point in the championship. If I'm any of these cars behind him, if I get an opportunity, I'm going to put it in the inside and try and make him bail out of a move. Nothing too silly, but just enough that he has to back out. So the safety car going around again, so we will go into overtime. But regardless, we're only going to get 1 lap of racing anyway. So those that may have been a bit too cute on fuel could find themselves in trouble, but I'd imagine they'll be able to get to the end.
You'd think the few slow laps will have saved enough to get you there, unless someone's driving with excessive revs for whatever reason. But yeah, if there was a second safety car or something, I don't know, perhaps. Or if the safety car came out closer to the end of the race, if it came out on lap 14 or something, that would have caused people trouble, I think.
Yeah, I think that should have saved enough by going slowly to get home. Because, yeah, it did come out early enough for it not to be an issue. But so I'd imagine the safety car probably come in the exit of this lap. But we'll just run through the field here before we get going quickly. So Tara leads Zach Brown. Bailey Hall ahead of Cheese. Locke in 5th ahead of Ryan Cox. Looking for his big break. Reese McGillivray in 7th. Then we have Matt Cecil in 8th. Luke Yeager in 9th. Good recovery from him in this one. Aaron Kemp in 10th. Justin Cecil 11th. Damo in 12th. Nathan Higginson is probably thrown the championship away in this one. He's in 13th. Ayrton Felipe in 14th. Darren Loughnane in 15th. He's ahead of Rhodey, which is what he needs, but Rhodey's got fresh tyres. Hayden Cooper in 17th. Taipan in 18th. I believe he pitted. And then we have Cracker and Rhodey on freshies. Paralix in 21st on freshies. Peter Thrower on freshies. And Melody Smith calls the safety car with Ryan Walsh at the back of the queue. But he pitted under safety car for fresh tyres, but he's a lap down because he pitted a lap too early. All right, here we go.
Good effort, Lewis, to be able to spit that all out in time. Will Turek get a good jump? Will Zach be able to keep up with him? What's going to happen in this top 5? There's a couple of championship protagonists still around. Tara's gone and Zach has not caught up with him. Now, he's left Zach behind to 1. Luckily, it's a short run for Zach, and he can hopefully settle into a rhythm to pressure Tara. Tara's just going to want to pull away.
Yeah, all he's got to do now is just keep it nice and smooth. Bailey Hall is a big slide, and Cheese is going to try and send it up the inside here. But doesn't quite get the run. He club at the curb just that little bit too much. And Lucky Locke, he's got Cox right behind him. And Cox having a look. As, there's Cheese, bit of a lock up there. And Cox is going to try and go around the inside. We have seen this get pulled off earlier on. And will he send it up at the hairpin? No, he won't. And in fact, McGillivray's going to try and send it around the outside of him. But Noah Tara leads away Zach Brown. And then we have Bailey Hall, and she's still duking it out to the end. Noah Tara will go 2 from 2. Brown will finish second in both races. And then Bailey Hall, Cheese, Locke in 5th. Cox, we've got a car off. That's Higginson. We've got 2-3 wide there. Cracker also off. And then we end up behind Cos McGillivray, Matt Cecil, Luke Yeager, Darren Kemp, Justin Cecil, Damo Higginson. Couldn't get anyone on that last lap. And then we have Felipe, Lochnan, Bratt, Cooper, Taipan, Rhodey, and Cracker. And then Paralix and Peter Thrower. With Brian Walsh in 23rd, Melody Smith in 24th. But Peter Thrower ended up a fair way back on that last lap there. I wonder what happened on this last lap here. Because he was obviously in that queue, so he must have had some kind of drama on the restart. Okay, so it looks like he's ran... He's braked at a normal point, but Smith in front has gone so slow, he had nowhere to really go, and he's had to slow to redress it, so that's why...
Just a slight misread of the situation, easy to do when you've been racing a whole race and braking at one point, and then suddenly that's not the point to be braking. But, you know, he redressed it, so good work for him there. Unfortunate for Melody to get bumped there, nevertheless.
Yep. Alright, well, that's 2 races in the books with Tara cleaning house so far. But again, had some good racing. And unfortunately, for the championship, we've also seen Nathan Higginson once again have his wheels fall off his wagon. And yeah, he'll be hoping to somehow redeem himself, but starting 13th in this next one, it's going to be difficult. You don't really want to be in the pack here. As we've seen, not the easiest place to pass, and you can also get yourself caught up in more incidents.
And he's going to have a bit of pace over people around him, so he's going to have to adjust himself to perhaps to some similar thing to what Pete just experienced, just to perhaps braking a little bit earlier, being prepared to stop or slow down where you may not expect it as, you know, so much. So and pick your moments, super important.
Yeah, it certainly is. Now, I did promise that I would find you having your first spin. Now, can you recall which race it was? Because I do have the race up here.
No. First or second. I think it was only 2 races at the time. Well, it might have been 3 actually. It might have been 3 40-kilometer ones. Yeah, I'm very sorry. I can't remember. Perhaps I'll attempt to hunt it down.
All right. Well, I do have it up. I'm going to go and scroll through it here. But yeah, with that, it's 2 races done and dusted. We will have a little bit of entertainment at some point in a couple minutes' time. But yeah, just going to take a short break. But yeah, don't go anywhere to catch Snipes' first spin, and of course, race number 3. Alrighty, and welcome back. And as promised, I do have Snipes' first spin, at least caught on broadcast. Did see him go off a little bit earlier on in this lap, but it wasn't a spin. He's in the Jack Daniels Rick Kelly Nissan, and whoop, that's his. It's very easy to do, Snipes. And actually, I'm surprised you haven't seen more drivers around there like that tonight.
Yeah, look, I at the time didn't quite have the experience in the supercar to be able to understand when to get out of the throttle, perhaps. But yeah, no, it is an easy thing to do, man. Supercars have a lot of power to the rear wheels and not a whole lot of traction control really to help you other than your right foot. So it's easy to get wrong if you just do it a bit too much, for sure. But I don't know. For me, and around goes Snipes. It just it lives in my head, man. I can hear it to this day.
Yeah, another thing I'm going to try and find as well. We do have a history of these. It was a long, long time ago. It was in the same season. It was a moment in history, of course. Now I'm going to leave it muted because I don't want to hear myself speak. But at the old Townsville, before it got a little bit of a facelift, it didn't look too good back in the day. But you had a bit of an adventure, and due to some internet lag, you did roll over, but on our screen you just levitated due to AMS things, and then as you came closer, oh, you're on your roof. So it was a fair old rollover, a fair crash. It has to be said. You would have been on your... So that's, I think, a good... That would have been... Let's say about 300 metres. You've just rolled down from the exit of turn 1 at Townsville all the way to the escape road on your roof. That's a long, long time to be sliding.
Yeah, interesting fact, I actually died in that crash. But yeah, I was on my roof for a whole long time, then I went careening into the tyres, and then that actually flipped me up, thankfully. So I argued that I didn't, because I didn't complete a full somersault, that I hadn't rolled it, so I just carried on instead of pitting like you should do. But, at those days, the damage wasn't too bad, so you could just press on. But yeah, it was quite a big one. It was my first big one. It wasn't actually lag. I'd love to blame it on lag. It was just my own inattentiveness. For some reason, it just zoned out kind of into that little kink at turn 1 at Townsville, and it's not a very good time to do it, lap 1, or any time, but lap 1 particularly, and I just found myself in a lot of trouble. I was thankful that no one else really got massively caught up in it. It was basically just me somehow pinballing through cars without sending them all off.
Yeah, I don't know how in a whole field of cars another car didn't end up being caught up and being wiped out in that. So, not that you could control it, but not a bad effort that no other car was wiped out there. So
call it the tactical crash.
Yes, the old tactical rollover from Snipes. Now I do have some updated championship points, and while it's looking unlikely for Higginson now that the gap has stretched out now to 172 points, still within striking distance, but he's going to need a little bit of luck and he's going to need to win Bathurst now, I'd say. Losing 30 points to Locke in that last one. He did pick up 12 points in race number 1. So he's not lost too many points for the night overall, but he's going to need a really big final race here and some luck. Cheese, though, on the other hand, he's been a bit up and down. He finished 8th, of course, in the first... he finished 4th in the first race. No, I'm not reading that right. He finished 8th.
He definitely finished 8th. Finished 8th.
And then he finished 4th, of course, in race number... race number 2 there. So he's actually brought that gap between himself and Higginson down now. So 172 points away is Higginson, while Cheese is 197 points away in the championship. So 2084 plays 2059. So could Cheese come in and steal second away from Higginson is the question. He's not been faster throughout the year than Higginson, but he's not made as many errors, and that's why he is right there. Same goes with Locke. He's made some errors as well this season, picked up some penalties points. While Cheese, on the other hand, he's not quite been as fast as those two in front of him, but he's not been caught up in as many incidents, not caused as many incidents, and he's just picked up points when he could. So again, I mean, it could be one of those ones where maybe the front two fall over each other, Snipes, and the unlikely victor comes to the front. We just never know. It's Dev Series racing, and it's sim racing, and with one more race around this circuit where you can make a mistake and end up DNF, and Bathurst you can definitely make a mistake and end up having a DNF. You just don't know.
Yeah,
You just don't know.
absolutely. And Bathurst is going to be worth a whole lot of points too. Will it be 300 for one round?
I believe so. Yes.
So look, it theoretically it's definitely not going to be over till it's over. I'd say because there's not a 300-point gap between the leader and the top two, and it's getting towards leader and the other two. Sorry, but perhaps fourth is a bit more out of the equation. But another good race from any of those guys, and they're still in contention. Higo's still in contention. But at this point, they are very much relying on Locke to have a bad race, and like the best place for him to have that bad race would be Bathurst.
Yeah, but at the same token, I mean, Locke, all he knows is he doesn't have to take a risk at Bathurst. He can go in there and just cruise around and just pick up points, and he'll be okay. But that being said, though, these guys. It starts here. If they can just put together a smooth run here in race 3, try and redeem some points back off of Locke, and then give themselves an opportunity, anything can happen at Bathurst. So, and with the way the point structure is, it's not like Locke could just finish, 10th and bring it home. He'll have to, be a little bit better and a little bit faster than that. So, it really is up to these guys. In this one here, you can't win, obviously, the championship in race 3, but you can lose it. They're both hanging on, Cheese and Higginson, but, they can at least get a little bit of momentum and give themselves a slightly bigger chance for Bathurst if they can just string together good 15 laps, not make a mistake. And, if they are racing Locke at some point, race him hard. Don't make it easy for him. And make sure that, Locke has to earn wherever he finishes in this race. So you just never know. But at first, you got to give yourself a chance. And to do that, it is to not make a mistake in this one and see where you end up.
Yeah, absolutely. Consistency is key, and it really is key to not just racing, but the whole series. You don't need to be the fastest to be right up the top if you can consistently be thereabouts. And that, to me, is one of the biggest things of this. Cheese hasn't been the fastest all year. He's in third at this point in time. The top two have largely been obviously Locke and Higo until contenders like Hall emerged, and Tara, when Tara races, he's always quick, so that's always one to watch. Anyway, we are at a grid, and it is my turn, I believe, Lewis. My turn.
That is correct.
Third time, which means it's me, to read out the grid starting order, and it is, of course, first Noah Tara. He didn't quite put it together in qualifying, but the first two races he's been exemplary, untouchable basically for the rest of the pack. Zach Brown starting out of P2, he's got two really good starts so far. Can he make it 3 from 3? Bailey Hall starting out of third with Cheese alongside him. These two have been battly when they've been near each other, so look, watch out for that. Locke starting out of P5 with an impressive Ryan Cox out of P6. Very good effort for him, looking for, of course, his big break. Reese McGillivray out of P7 with Matt Cecil out of P8. Luke Yeager starting out of P9, and Darren Kemp rounds out our top 10. Over to 11th now, and we've got Justin Cecil there, and starting alongside him will be Damo. For Nathan Higginson, who Chad's already conceded the championship, he's feeling down. Can he redeem himself from 13th on the grid? Starting alongside him will be Ayrton Felipe. Darren Lockman starting P15. He will just be trying to claw as many points back as he can on Rhodey, and he did finish that last race ahead of Rhodey, so that's good. Alongside him in P16 is Brett. P17, we have Hayden Cupid there, and starting alongside him will be Taipan, who's had a bit of a mixed bag. He won't be happy with 18th though. P19, we have Rhodey, who'll be just looking to continue to score points. It's really all he needs to do to stay ahead of Darren at this point. And starting alongside him is Cracker, who has been racing since I've been racing in the league. So yes, it is very good to see him out there. Parallax there, starting out of 21st in the last race of his second event. Good effort from him to be out there. Peter Thrower with a disappointing home round. He's just not had the luck, and he's had some big crashes. And starting alongside him, Brian Walsh out of P23. And finally, last of our runners starting at back of the grid tonight, Melody Smith here to round out the grid. Who's going to get a bit of jump? Do you think Tara's going to fix it up, or do you think Zach Brown gets him?
Oh, I think Zach Brown, he's had good starts all night, so I think he's going to keep it. He's going to continue, he's obviously found that kind of the right bite point with the clutch. I reckon he'll get a good start, but can Tara at least get a better start to not drop as far back? But we'll soon find out as the lights are ablaze. Looks like Walsh in the background was rolling there. And in fact, he was. And once again, Zach Brown, the good getaway. But Noah Tara not as bad this time. They're going to go side by side through turn number 1. Looks like Darren Loughlin as well in the background had a poor one. And side by side through 1 and through 2. But Zach Brown having to concede. And at least for now, Tara into the lead.
And Cheese getting a good run there over Bailey Hall at the start. Hall's dropped to position also to Ryan Cox, who finds himself in the top 4. Good effort. The back of the field, the mid-pack trying to sort themselves out, jostling as we get down towards the braking area at turn 5. It's hard braking here. Can they all get it pulled up straight? They've been good so far.
And multiple cars side by side. Looks like a poor start. Or poor first couple corners at least with Bailey Hall. Cox had a good start, but he's just lost out there. Didn't quite catch it, but he's just lost out there to Bailey Hall. Higginson, he's up 2 spots from where he started. He's up to 11th, but he's, of course, behind HMA's Kemp at the moment. So he really needs to try and find a way past Kemp, otherwise his race will be ruined. But first lap down, Noah Tara leads. It's going to be difficult, as we've seen. And these guys behind to catch him as Brown wide on the turn-in, hit the bump. And that's a big invitation for old Gouda in behind, as you see Hall and Cox side by side through turn 2 and 3. And Cox is going to be a bit disadvantaged now. And he's got Lockie Locke behind him in 6th place.
Yeah, certainly not ideal there. A bit of an excursion, but he kept it largely pointing straight, so that's ideal. No harm, no foul. Locke loses a little bit of time, but no positions. All good in his hood. We see Cheese there ranging up to the back of Zach Brown. He's definitely applying a bit of pressure to Zach. Will he have the pace to get past him? He's looking racy early. Gives him a bump there out of turn 8, the hairpin. A bit of a slow zone, possibly just caught out by Zach at the apex. But he's looking racy as Cheese so far.
Yeah, gave him the big hurry up. Hasn't quite got the nose in there for the final corner. As you see Zach Brown wide here. But Cheese isn't quite close enough to be able to capitalise on that. But he's giving himself a good opportunity here to at least pick up a podium here, old Cheese. He's all over the back. It sounds like there's a car in the pits. I think that's Walsh serving his drive-through. But Bailey Hall now closing in. Cox doing a good job holding on here as well. And Higginson has gotten by HMA's Kemp. So I'll cut to a replay, try and find where he's managed to do it. So into the hairpin. Kemp's gone to the inside. Higginson's got out of it early. And, well, Kemp's just run wide and Higginson's got the drive off. So he'd come back live.
Yeah, Higginson will be thankful about that when Darren's a hard man to pass. He doesn't step up no, and as we see Cheese there up the inside of Zach Brown into the hairpin, will he be able to consolidate it? Zach Brown's been really good off turn 8 there, but Cheese has got his bum in front, and that's gonna keep the position.
And I thought for a moment there Brown was going to be in trouble clipping that grass on the exit of 10. He's clipped the grass again. A little bit of overdriving here. Big invitation for Hall. Both he and, of course, Brown have been duking it out in race 2 and for a little bit there in race number 1 as well. But Cheese now, the big mover, up into 2nd place. What's his pace going to be? And he'll be hoping that old Zach Brown keeps making mistakes and he's able to build a gap, because I think Bailey Hall, if he does find himself ahead of Zach at some point, may just drive away. But yeah, at the moment, Brown just making some mistakes. Looks like Cheese made a slight one there into turn 5. And that's also allowing Cox to stay in touch. And lucky Locke, he's got Matt Cecil not too far behind him as well. So nice little pack here. McGillivray just fallen off the back, and we have had Higginson get by Justin Cecil. So Nathan Higginson. So he's on the move, as you see Bratt and Darren Kemp duking it out as well for 11th place here.
Yeah, certainly side by side, and are they going to try it? No, Kemp's not brave enough for that one, and for fair reason. It's hard to do. It's almost impossible to do, and not have one of you in the fence at least. So smart driving.
Oh.
No, what a run here from Luke Yeager. It sure is. He just got the power down on Kemp, and he's going to shape up the inside into 1. Let's see how well these two go side by side together. Are they going to try stick it through 2 and 3? They might. No, Kemp gets in front. Well done from both of them. Good effort.
I thought he was going to send it up the inside for a second. He should have gone the other way. We got yellows out though in that first sector. Who has gone around? That's Taipan that's gone around. Now, was he assisted? He was battling Peter Thrower here, or did he just do it on his own? Or he's just come in too hot, I think. Or yeah, he's coming too hot and then overcorrected it there. So unfortunate for Taipan. In the Super 3 class, we've got our 2 championship combatants going at it for the mighty position of 19th. It looks like Lochnan may just come out ahead here if he can just hold on up the inside. But he needs to find more positions here as new lap record for Noah Turra, 102.888. That would have been handy in the race last year in the main series, let alone here in the Dev Series. Rhodey here, battling on here. These guys battling for the championship. Also battling for 19th place. A little bit of contact there. Lochnan needs to get himself down the road to try and claw back as many points as possible. But Rhodey not making it easy.
Yeah, this is entertaining battling from these Super 3 combatants. Really putting on a good show there. Rhodey a bit wide there into 2, though, struggling to get it turned in, and therefore, look, it's exactly what we said pre-races. It just ruins your run through that whole corner, through that whole section. Really affects your momentum to the back straight, and you can see that.
Yeah, not able, even with the slipstream, losing speed to the car in front, and Lochner now will be trying to keep his eyes forward and catch up to the back of Cracker, Cupid and Damo as they all duke it out. And then with a bit of luck he can maybe pick off another position or 2. Got Peter Thrower recovering. He's up 7 spots from where he started, right down at the back. And he's got Felipe, that's Luke Yeager and Kemp. And
sorry, I'm going to correct you to the front here, Lewis. Battle for second is on big time. Bailey Hall had managed to get his way past Zach Brown, and now he's pressuring Cheese, and they're going to go 2 by 2, are they? Down into turn 5. This could be calamity if they get it wrong here. It's heavy under brakes.
Oh, a little bit of contact. Cheese is going to try and hold on around the outside. He'll have the inside for the next corner. A little bit of grazing, but in the end, Bailey Hall able to get the power down. They've got Walshy, who's served his drive-through just in front of him. He's going to have to get out of the way here, otherwise it's going to be an almighty mess.
Oh gosh, he might choose to pit this Walsh here. Good call, Brian. Well done, mate. I commend you.
Poor run for Bailey Hall, but he's somehow able to keep the speed, and Cheese wasn't able to get his nose in and get on the power earlier here. So this battle isn't solved. 104.7, as you see Tara, he's out in the 3s and 2s. So these guys losing bucket loads of time. As we saw in the background there, it looked like Locke was going to go off the circuit, but good run out of the corner there for Bailey Hall, and now the Sneakies down to turn 5.
Yeah, it's definitely all on. Big shout out to Ryan Cox on debut. I think he's put out a massive showing here. As Cheese shapes up the inside into 5 locks.
Oh, he's gone.
Goes deep, he's gone. He's going to have to pull out of it. He's going to have to pull out of it and cede the position, sadly, and that might cost him more than 1 if he doesn't get it right.
Oh, he's done well, but I still think Brown might just send it here. Oh, he's outbroken himself again. Oh, it's very, 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 very tight here. He's not giving up. Here. He's not giving up the position. He's going to have the inside for the next corner. They're still at it, but Brown eventually gets the position done. Now Cox is the man looking to get a move done, but he had to back out of it. A little slide for Brown. In the background, there's Higginson in the wall again, trying to get by Matt Cecil. Thankfully, he doesn't spin around this time. Higginson probably... What's he done here? So... Oh, he's tried inside. Oh, that's ambitious. And he's... Like, I know he's got the run there. But you're always going to understeer wide. And in AMS, if you hit the car the wrong way on the inside, that's what happens. Thankfully for him, hasn't lost too much time. And he won't have picked up major damage. We've got yellows out here, though.
Oh, no.
It's Cheese.
I don't know what's happened.
Let's have a look. Oh, he's gone for a move and just cooked it. And now he's as we cut back live, he's behind not only Zach Brown, but he's also behind Ryan Cox. Impressive fourth place in his debut race weekend. Ayrton Felipe drive through penalty. Not sure.
You have to assume that's for track cuts. And look, I think he's cut it down at 5 here, Lewis. You'll find, I feel.
I wonder how... It must have been on the initial part of it. But he's had to have done that multiple times, I wonder. I've picked that one up, and Walsh has in fact retired. First two, they've got a bit of a gap. But Brown coming under pressure from Cox now. And then we have Locke and Cheese duking it out. And now we have Higginson and Cecil, Matt, that is, side by side into 5. They're both deep under brakes. Cecil, too deep. And he's going to have to cut the chicane. And he does cede that position. As you see, Cheese and Locke there. A little bit of contact there in the background. Well, just as we cut away. But... also got McGillivray and Justin Cecil. There's spot fires everywhere at the moment. We've got Peter Thrower battling with... Damo's got himself a penalty as well here. I'm guessing he's done the same thing.
Oh, he's got a bump as he's turned in. The car looks well alongside, so...
And Cheese!
Oh, dear.
Cheese has got himself... Where are they picking these up, I wonder? That one may have been turn 3. That one may have been turn 3, I reckon. Because you can pick them up. So turn 1, he's used a lot of curb, which I think you can get done for. And then... Oh, I've got lag there, so I can't really tell. I
think it's happened at turn 1.
It has to be turn 1 there. And you can get one on the last corner as well. That's a shame. He was battling for the podium position there.
Yeah, that's championship destroying for him, really. That's not what he wanted at all. And that'll be totally dejecting as he's now going to have to get around to the pit lane sometime.
Oh, and got Locke now taking massive risks. The car in front's got a drive-through penalty. He does not need to fight this car. I know he's got Higginson behind him, but he's got a massive point advantage. And if Cheese is going to battle it out here, because it is his home track, he has every right to. I know he's got a penalty, but he doesn't want to make it easy for his championship rival, and he also doesn't want to make it easy at his home track. So Locke here making things harder for himself by racing it harder. He should just be content with sitting there, and if he loses position to Cheese, doesn't matter because he's got to come in. And if he loses position to Higginson, again, doesn't matter because he's got a big points gap.
Yep, and look who is buying right into this one now. Nathan Higginson is right there too. So look, we've got our 3 championship protagonists all together on track. It's not going to be for too long though. At some point in the next lap or two, Cheese will duck into the pits, and it'll be a 2-car battle here. Championship protagonist still on, of course.
Yeah, so there we go. He's in on this lap now. Or does he?
Oh, that's brave.
Yeah, deep on the brake.
I don't know if he did.
I think he slowed down enough, but that doesn't matter now. What does matter is can Higginson get by Locke? He'll be hoping more so to pressure him into a catastrophic mistake as he wobbles around in front of him. He's wide again. He's Locke. Does have a slight speed advantage, as I can see. I think there's Cheese in the background yelling out something about the pit lane. Oh, there's contact. Might have been a contact between Locke and Higginson. And Locke there having to cut the chicane. And we have seen a couple of drivers pick up penalties for doing that. So let's have a look here. A little bit of bump drafting. Oh, and he's tried to make that move way too late and giving him the old serve. Still got Zach Brown and Cox on debut. Oh, as Damo now picks up a penalty. That's Cecil running wide. Where is Damo on the circuit? Where is he? Oh, he's down there in front of these, or around these guys. Oh, pit lane speeding. Oh, and he's gone slow in front of Matt Cecil. I think
Not ideal there.
Oh dear. Oh, Matt Cecil really, he's balked badly. Damo, I'm not sure what he was doing. Obviously, a bit kerfuffled maybe by the penalty, not paying attention. Probably find himself in trouble with that. Hopefully Matt Cecil doesn't have too much damage, but he's definitely lost time as Filippi's got himself a penalty here. So driver's definitely pushing the limits of the circuit. And Matt Cecil now actually really struggling here. Reese McGillivray all over the back of him as we're about to start the final lap. Higginson, can he get by Locke and try and claw back some points?
Ooh. Yeah, it doesn't look like a big chance of it. Let me tell you right now, Lewis, there's battles everywhere. There's battles third and fourth. There's battles down here. Another penalty Damo must have sped in the pit lane, man. The drivers are racking them up. You didn't expect this to be the sort of circuit we'd be seeing a lot of drive-through penalties at.
Yeah, but drivers taking liberties, maybe some bad luck. And speeding in the pit lane, that's all on the drivers. Big dive from Cox. He's not going to pull it up, and Brown's going to say thank you very much. But is he close enough to have a dive at the hairpin? I don't think so. So Brown should hold on, barring mistake. McGillivray has got by Matt Cecil. Now he's battling with Justin in the background. But we'll cut to Noah Turry. I haven't seen him outside the start because he's just bolted. So he'll go 3 from 3. And I'll have to say enjoy it because you will be promoted next season, Noah. And then we have Bailey Hall in second. And Zach Brown in third, just ahead of Ryan Cox. Great first night from him. Locke will hold off Nathan Higginson for 6th. So damage limitation there for Higginson. Up 7 spots. Could quite get ahead of Locke, but still nice recovery drive despite that off at the final corner. McGillivray home in 7th ahead of Justin Cecil. Matt, I feel, will be quite unhappy with I can't remember, one of the Kiwi underdeveloped FGXs. I can't remember which one. But just parked it right in the middle of the chicane there for him. He had nowhere to go, which cost him time and probably a little bit of damage. Thrower recovered to 10th, up 12 spots. Great effort from him. Kemp home in 11th. Brapp in 12th. Luke Yeager in 13th position. So it must have been Damo there. Hayden Cooper home in 14th. In fact, let's have a look here. So McGillivray, yeah, he did win, of course, the Super 3 class, but he's lucky that he come around when he did. Any later or any earlier, and he probably would have found himself in promoted to Super 2 by this stage. Cooper in second in class in 14th, and then Cracker in 15th. Darren Loughnane ahead of Taipan and Rhodey, so he got at least one car between himself and Rhodey for some extra championship points. And then we have Cheese in 19th, Smith in 20th, Paralix in 21st, with Filippi 22nd and Damo 23rd. Brian Walsh, a non-finisher in this one. So 3 races, Snipes, and pretty entertaining night with the last one. The drivers forgetting where the track limits were as well as where the pit line was.
Certainly a few errors from quite a few drivers in that last one there, no doubt about it. A bit of a disappointment for some people in their last second to last race, obviously, of the season, to be finishing with penalties and whatnot. But they've got Bathurst to redeem themselves nevertheless. So there'll be some disappointment. There'll be some happy people. I think Higo drove quite well to claw his way up the field there to 6th. Pressuring Locke. Obviously didn't take points off him, and he'll be disappointed in his race too. There, Locke May not have been the quickest tonight, but he was fast enough to be and consistent enough to, I'd say, extend his lead because both Higo and Cheese both had a bad race each. Their Cheese obviously finishing 19th there, which is not a very good result for him. I'm just going to quickly organise some drivers to come up and speak to us. If you give me a few moments, multitasking is hard.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, sometimes it's not particularly easy to do the old multitask. Just trying to have a look at the championship standings, but they've not been updated. So Rossi, if you are listening, please get onto it. You're taking too long. But yeah, 3 good races. Obviously, that last one, at least for Noah, you didn't have to pass anyone. It would have been, I guess, entertaining that you can lap the track at your own speed, but a bit dull for us here in the commentary box that he wasn't able to have anyone to battle in that early portion of the race. We did see some good battling, of course, between Zach Brown, Bailey Hall, even Ryan Cox got in there, had Locke and the like, all duking it out there for that final spot, and of course Cheese as well before his unfortunate demise there with the track limits by the look of it. He put up a good show and was very entertaining. And then of course, we had all those other battles that we couldn't, see all race long because, we've got championship stuff there at the front. We've got good racing at the front. And we also had some good stuff in the midfield and even beyond that. So, seemed to be a fairly good night of racing. Hopefully not too many incidents, at least not many that we saw, Snipes. But, pretty good night of racing. Good return after the, I wouldn't say calamity, but certainly the drama from Gold Coast.
Yeah, certainly good to have a relatively clear night versus the Gold Coast, which was a bit of a wrecked fest, to be fair. But it's to be expected on a street track. Tonight, though, a really quite a good effort from a lot of our drivers. Limited crashes, lots of drive-throughs, but limited crashes, which was always good to see. Maybe not gonna get another episode of Lou Review this week to get us through the shit of Super 2 and 3. I thought that was pretty good, Lewis. Nevertheless, we're going to move on to some of our drivers here. So we'll start tonight, I think, with Bailey Hall. G'day, Bailey. How's it going?
Yeah, g'day, Snipes, Lewis. Yeah, pretty happy overall twist tonight. There's some great racing from everyone out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, you had reasonable pace all night. You qualified it up the front as maybe not quite on pole, but up the front nevertheless. Struggled just, I think, with keeping up with Tara, but you still made plenty of good battles. How did you see it tonight?
Yeah, there was some awesome racing from all the guys up to the front, especially throughout, those first 10 or so laps of that first race. I was amazed by the craft that the people have in the development series and the skills they're starting to show later in this season, which is awesome. Stuck behind lap traffic, or not lap traffic, my mistake, sorry, just stuck behind people who were doing an extremely good job at, holding their line past, not allowing the pass to happen, and it made it really difficult around here with only limited passing opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. Pukekohe does present a bit of a challenge with passing, so we finding it just hard to get past people of similar kind of pace.
Yeah, that's it. There was the front runners; they're all at the same sort of pace, excluding Tara. We know that he's just an alien tonight, and he's done an exceptional job. I'd just like to congratulate him on the 3 wins tonight. But just everyone on the same pace. It was awesome racing, and I'm not sure what it looked like on the broadcast just yet. I haven't had a chance to have a look, but I hope everyone throughout the field could put on a show because from the driver's seat that felt awesome.
I can say from commentary that looked pretty damn good for a large majority of the evening. I'm going to keep it short and sweet tonight, Bailey Hall, as I've got quite a few drivers to get through. I don't know why I do this to myself. But congratulations on another consistent effort tonight. I think it's going to be good to see you in main game next year.
Yeah, thanks Snipes and Lewis for the broadcast tonight and everyone behind the scenes that makes it happen.
Well done, mate. Thank you very much. Okay, we're going to move on to a debutant in the series tonight, Ryan Cox. How you doing?
Very good. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, mate. Look, let me tell you, signing up pretty late in the week to just give it a bit of a crack. Obviously, looking to fill in for a mate, but we don't do that here. So you're in a guest car. Did you have any expectations heading into the evening?
I was just, I mean, I've seen a lot of what you guys have done, and I was really wanting to get involved here. So when I saw the opportunity tonight to do a first race, I just wanted to kind of be there and start off and see how we went. So I'm really pleased with how that went. That was awesome.
Yeah, it looks like you've got a little bit of pace. Do you have any former racing experience?
A lot of F1. A lot of F1.
A lot of F1. Look, good, mate. It's good to have you here. I will keep it short and sweet with you as well, but a very, very good effort tonight. I think your debut was stellar.
Thank you very much.
And over onto Reese McGillivray. We go. G'day, Reese. How's it going?
Oh, how's it going, Snipes? Lewis, awesome show again, I believe.
Look, you're putting on a reasonable effort. You are in the Super 3 field, which is part of the reason I'm bringing you up. But let's be real here, man. I think you are of Super 2 pedigree. Of that, there is no doubt. And if it were earlier in the season, I feel you would be in the Super 2 field. But you're racing very, very well, and you have done since you got into the series. How'd you see tonight?
Seen tonight as a home race and just went all out. It just put my all into it and somehow flew the flag and come home with a clean sweep in class. And obviously, I'm ecstatic to get a 1-2 in that last race with my teammate Hayden. He drove out of his mind.
Absolutely. Good to see Hayden on the grid tonight. Now, you are a Kiwi. May I ask where loosely you're from?
I'm from Hamilton.
Oh, unlucky Oos. Okay.
I missed that round.
Yeah, look, Hamilton's a reasonably consistent one in this. Oh, consistent enough. I've raced it a couple of times, so I'm sure you get another opportunity. I'm going to leave this one there. I just want to congratulate you on an excellent night of racing, though, Ryan Cox. Well done. Right, sorry, take that, Reese. Sorry.
Thanks, guys.
Brain. Sorry, Reese. My apologies.
You're okay.
You're racing super phenomenally. Well done.
Have a great night, everybody.
Too many C1s. All right, I'm going to move on now to one of our championship protagonists, Locke. Now, you're there or thereabouts consistently. Tonight, well, I don't think you actually made a podium. I feel you've pulled a gain on your two championship rivals. How do you feel it all went?
I think it went all right. It was really fun. That Ryan Cox, he was driving very well. So kudos to him. But yeah, no, I think it went really well. It sucks to see championship rivals dropping down because I want to fight. But look, it was a good race, good battling, and it was a lot better than Gold Coast. So yeah.
Yeah, look, I think overall a pretty good effort. You've been Mr. Consistent all year. What do you think's been kind of the key to that consistency?
Oh, I'm honestly not sure. I just found pace for some reason, but yeah, no, it's been really weird to find some consistency because usually I'm not up the front that often. But yeah, default setups and maybe something to do with the with driving a Commodore. But yeah, no, it's a bit of an oddity, but it feels really nice.
No, you've been driving very, very well all year. As with everyone, Lockie, I'm going to keep it short and sweet tonight with you as well, but congratulations. While no podiums tonight, you kept it consistent, and I feel that's all you need to do from here.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to move on to the other side of the coin here. Although, whilst there was a race that did not go well for you, Nathan Higginson, I think there were still two reasonable ones, and realistically, you're still a chance to make it into the final. How are you feeling?
Well, I'll keep it short and sweet for you, Snipes. Tonight really isn't a night I really want to talk about all that much. Race 1 was okay. Race 2 had tech issues, which meant my game crashed. basically before we went to race, and then coming back onto the formation lap, my steering rotation reset to 900 degrees as we're on the formation lap, so I had to reset it on the fly. The race itself was just, I honestly don't know. Just caught up. Race 3 was alright. I'd like to give a shout out to Locke for the battle that was had during that race. That was probably the most fun I've had all night. Yeah, that's that's all I have to say really.
Fair enough,
praying
mate.
for a miracle at Bathurst, but it's going to be a hard fought one.
Look, it's not over till the fat lady sings, so you never know what'll happen heading into the last round. It is, of course, just a single race, one single race, where a lot of points will be up for grabs. So you never really know. There could still be a lot of moving and shaking to be happening. Good luck for it, Higo. Unfortunate in some parts tonight, but I think your recovery drive in race 3 was a very good job tonight, so well done.
Thank you.
Okay, and I'm going to move on to my last Super 3 driver for the evening. Rhodium, how you doing?
I'm not too bad, Snipes. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. Look, I've been reminiscing about you tonight. My first round was Rhodey's fuel numbers. You're actually the reason I got past some people. I moved up in my first race, so I've got a lot to thank you for. Now tonight, unfortunately, we've had Lockman had some sort of technical issue there in race 1, I believe it was. So you found a bit of points on him, but you two were still battling hard. How did you see it?
Yeah, so Darren, unfortunately, his game decided to minimise at the chicane on lap 1, and he could not get it back up while tab was not working. This, that, the other, couldn't get back into the game. So it was still running, but it wouldn't open for whatever reason. So that was a shame. And unfortunately, realistically, with where the points are at, and also with the fact that Darren can't make the Friday at Bathurst, Avalon Raceway have done him a dirty and scheduled a race on that night for him, and he has to be there. Unless I get 100-point penalty for getting into Type N in race 2, and I completely bollocks Bathurst, it's bad to be sad about it, but I think I've won the championship, which is a shame because same with Lockie. I wanted this to be a fight that went down at the last race, and Darren and I have had a really, really good battle all season. But tonight, no, the racing was really good. Yeah, look, there was a point I think in race 3 where Darren and I could just take it back to sort of where we were at the start of the season, where nothing really mattered. We're just racing for the sake of racing because we were all stuck in the Kempy train. It was like an 11-car Kempy train at one point, which I think is the biggest we've seen ever. And we were stuck at the back of that. So I said that to Darren. There's no point battling because we're not actually going to get anywhere. So we had a battle. We had some good fun, but it was good to get Cracker in as well. Cracker's he's not had the season he's maybe quite wanted to have. He's been busy a lot of the time, but my bigger focus is honestly the team's points title, which haven't locked that away yet. Laszlo's still got some pace, and he's going to be firing on all cylinders coming back in at Bathurst. And if Christian's there, then it's a pretty fair fight. But tonight was very good racing, great racing from all the guys in Super 3, to be honest, even those that are probably a bit too quick for the class. And yeah, look, if it does turn out that I've won it already, then really great running to Darren, and I hope we can run it a little closer again next year.
Yes, of course. Look, it's been a good championship battle. I vote that the stewards just dock you 100 points to make it a bit more fun into the last round. But that's why they don't make me the judge. Well done tonight, Rhodey. The racing we saw with Darren was very good and entertaining to watch. So congrats on that.
Thank you, Snipes.
Over to Zach Brown now. We've only got 2 to go, ladies and gentlemen. We're nearly there. Over to Zach Brown now. Now, Zach, you said a PB in qualifying. Excellent lap. Tell me about it.
Yeah, I was actually very happy to see that come through, but after that qualifying lap, I found out that that's the best time that's ever been done at Pookie. Well, in Super 2 series, but I'll be pretty happy to hold that for at least a year. But yeah, the lap itself, it felt very sloppy. First turn, running the grass a bit too much. So yeah, it wasn't the best lap, but like it passed us lap over the week, so and I got pole with it, so it must have been all right.
That's certainly reasonable pace. Lewis and I were discussing pre-racing how basically the whole top five almost nearly got pole last year with the times they were doing. But yes, you are now the qualifying lap record holder for the series. Till next year at least. If the series comes back to Pookie, you will hold it until it comes back, and then we'll see what happens then. But to the races. You got flyers. You got really good off the line basically every time, but then it was just seemed to be a battle to keep Tara behind you. Do you want to tell us about it?
Yeah, the starts. I would say the first race was all right, but the other two were a bit of wheel spin, not the best, but I still got a good launch over Tara. But yeah, Noah's just crazy fast. Tonight I was thinking that because I didn't know anything about Noah's setup, but I thought he must be running load cell by the way he's been braking so late, but no, it just turns out that he's got a lot more talent than me, and just keeps the wheel straight and can turn it in late, get the car stopped without locking up. So yeah, he's very good. Has a lot of pace.
Yeah, look, there's levels to this game. It's actually crazy to understand, isn't it? But nevertheless, you still provided some hugely entertaining racing in what was typically a fearsome battle for second, third, or whatever position was going in that top five. How'd you find it?
If you're referring to the third race with Cheese, Bailey, and I, oh god, that was fun. I thought we might die at some point, but no, we all kept it on the track, and yeah, that was a good battle. All the other battles, not many of them in the other races because just stuff that was going on behind, and yeah, race three was the best race for me with battles.
And there was still plenty afoot all throughout the field. I'm going to end it there with you, Zach, because so many drivers, so many drivers. But your progress through the series has been really good to watch. From where you started to where you are now is quite incredible. Awesome lap tonight and driving in general. Congrats, mate.
Yeah, thanks, boys. Have a good one.
All right, on to Tara N. Noah, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you.
All right, so where do you get it from? Where's the pace come from? You've always had a bunch of pace, but you've really turned up the wick this season when you've appeared. Do you know what's happened? Have you just put in a bunch more hours, or you?
I don't know. I think it just clicked. Like I spent a few years trying to figure out these cars, and I reckon I've finally gotten around to it. That and I've really enjoyed Gold Coast and Pookie. They're both heaps good tracks, so I just start lapping them.
Certainly, a bit of a shame that we are losing Pukekohe off the real life calendar. I'm certainly sad about it. But in the simulated world, it lives on, and races like this can continue. Now, probably didn't find the qualifying lap that you wanted. Were you struggling to just get a good spot on track, or did you just struggle to put it together?
I just hadn't done much quali prep. I was mainly focusing on my race pace, trying to keep the tires alive for the length of the race, and I was just losing so much time in the braking zones because I was still in race mode with a heavier fuel load. So I was braking way too early and just couldn't make it up on the exits. So it was pretty close. I only had to find 300ths to get pole. So I don't know, it wasn't too bad anyway.
No, certainly not. Look, even when you're off your pace, you were still well and truly on the pace. Speaking of pace, you may have started race one from not the front row, but that did not last long as you surged out to a lead. Do you just want to tell us about your races from your perspective?
For the first race, it was just I wasn't sure what kind of race pace they were going to do, so I was just going to, after lap 5, I was just going to see where we're at in damage limitation or just hold it. But after I got in front, it was kind of 3 laps of pulling out a gap and then kind of looking after the tyres from there, and that's just how I treated the rest of the races, just kind of looking after the car a bit because the left side gets a real hammer around here no matter what you do.
Certainly does, and you seem to have the pace on the field basically all night. Once you get out to a lead, it seemed like you're pretty commanding. Obviously, a reasonably busy schedule with school sometimes throughout the year, making it unable to perhaps make every race, but I feel you would be well and truly right up there in the championship if you could. It seems the promotion to main game may be looming for you. How would you feel about that?
I wouldn't be upset, but I'd like to actually try and commit to a full season of Dev series before I do. But oh, it is what it is. If I get promoted,
Yes, you're certainly looking like the cream of the crop pace-wise, nevertheless, in a field still full of some very fast drivers. So I congratulate you for that, Noah. Uh, take that on your shoulder or whatnot, whatever the fucking saying is. But you know you've done really really well, and you you were quick ever since I've seen you race, but you've just really stepped it up, mate. So well done.
thank you.
Cool, Lewis. Oh my God, there were so many people. So you can talk now.
Well, you did sort of bring it upon yourself by bringing half a field in here, but anyway, I don't have any special graphics regarding the calendar or anything like that, but of course do have dates and the like. Of course, it will be sort of tied in with the ASR Enduro Cup. So the next round actually will be hosted on the Outworld Broadcasting channel with Nether also in the box, I think, as well. Still yet to be finalised, but it'll be on that channel to sort of make it one big special, Bathurst weekend. So that'll be a big one for the drivers. Obviously, 2 championships to be decided, although it looks like the Super 3 one is probably already well, not definitely, but probably decided outside of some kind of I don't know, cataclysmic fail from Rhodey. You'd have to pick up a heap of penalty points to lose it, and probably get himself disqualified in the process as well. So congratulations to Rhodey for his Super 3 season. Obviously the champion elect. And then of course we still do have a championship to play for in the development series, or in Super 2 as well, I should say. Higginson 178 points behind, so he needs Locke really to pretty much DNF or finish well down the field with the points. So I'm just going to try and actually find out what the point spread will be. So essentially, all Locke has to do is finish 9th or higher. And he'll find, well, in fact, no, it's even less than that actually. So he's to find himself, I think, 122 points or 123 points will definitely guarantee it. So any 14th and higher. If he finishes 14th, and Higginson wins, he'll win the championship, at least by my maths, by 4 points. So really, Higo will be hoping that Locke will finish down 15th or lower, or DNF, and that he can claim the win. So it is the 300 points, so endurance point structure for the 500 event, and that will be taking place on November 18, according to the schedule I have here in the Discord. So that'll be an interesting one. Snipes, of course, it is a big event. These drivers, even in their spare time, and it's not Enduro Cup time, do tend to cut a lot of laps around Bathurst. Do you have any sort of I know we're a while away from it, a couple of weeks away. Do you have any, favourites for that event, going off of past form?
I've seen Higo drive some of the best stints of his life in Bathurst. Now, whether that's going to be enough to beat someone like Tara if he's there, I don't know, because Tara's pace just seems to be ultimate when he's competing, really. But any of these top guys have the ability to do it. I'd put Higo as a bit of a dark horse, though.
Yeah, so it's hard to say from this far out, but with the way Noah Tara has been driving, it'll be difficult to go by him. But the Taras haven't always had the best luck around Bathurst. So it will be interesting to see how that all works out. But anyway, of course, don't forget to jump in next weekend on the Outworld Broadcasting channel for the main game event. See, from Pukekohe, it will be the season finale, and it is a championship finale as well, with I think 3 drivers still mathematically able to win the championship. So Kurt Stenberg leads that championship by 59 points over Will Devonish, with Luke Rosella 161 points behind. In fact, Tim Redmond is also 195 points behind. Now, let me just double check the points format for those events, because I wouldn't mind seeing how that could play out, but can't seem to find it there. So, where are we? Points. Yeah, so essentially, you actually do have 4 drivers mathematically possible to win the Supercars title. Just go over one more. There we go. So yeah, even Tim Redmond also in with a shout, but being 195 points away, but he'll need a bit of luck. Obviously, home circuit for him, but with the pace we've seen from Luke Rosella, whenever he's shown up, he'll be a difficult man to beat, but unlikely to win the championship without major dramas for the 2 in front. But that'll also make it difficult for Will Devonish if Luke is on form next week, because Will need to win races to try and claim as many points away from Kurt Stenberg, who I would imagine he'll just play the percentage game, and wherever he needs to finish, he'll finish there without trying to overdrive the car. Very savvy race driver, but still, always good to see 4 drivers in with a shot coming into the final round of the season. And of course, the team standings in that one as well, we do have CRE and Pixel Sim Sports battling out for the team's championship, although that one, with the way the points is, CRE have 1.5 hands on that driver's title. We do also have Team Tanawa there in 3rd place there, Snipe. So you and Tim looking good for 3rd in the Supercars team standings. So well done there.
Yeah, I've been carrying Tim all season. He's lucky to have me as a teammate because I've been super strong, and but it's a good effort from us both. He's still chipping in here and there.
Yeah, he still is, and I'm just glad your back and knees can support carrying him. So it's a fair effort, Snipes, and obviously next year you'll be hoping to carry him even more to. Well, you'll be hoping that Tim improves, so he can at least get some of your point scores back. So
he's got some work to do, but I have faith. I think he can get there.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of potential. So if you can just work on a couple of things, he might get there. He might get to your speed. But with that, we will end the broadcast from Pukekohe Park Raceway, which unfortunately, in real life, it will be closed down to motorsport events. But of course, in sim, it will live on. And in the future, there may be a surprise in AMS regarding Pukekohe. But we will see. Anyway, from myself, Lewis Wedding, and from NZ Snipes, we hope you've enjoyed tonight's broadcast, and we'll catch you at Bathurst in a couple weeks' time for the season final. Catch you.